We have a jam-packed episode today.
Sorry, that's the worst thing you've ever said.
Well, this is breaking news to me. I haven't heard anything about this.
Quick story time.
I had that freaking near fatal collapse. You didn't.
Welcome to Zeducation University, the world's first tuition-free education program in podcast form. In today's episode, we will be discussing the Super Bowl and the outrage aftermath, a congressman saying there are underwater alien bases, the Olympics, and much, much more. But first, before we get to some rapid-fire headlines here to start the show, we are on all podcasting apps. Let me just clarify. Right now, we are on Apple, Spotify, the YouTube app. I don't know if you guys knew that, but YouTube has a podcasting platform now. They have like a podcast tab. So we're on the YouTube podcast, iHeart. The only big platform we are waiting on is Amazon. So if you use your podcasting app for any of those apps, download the show today, subscribe, leave us a review, and we will be there on every show going forward. But first, I just have to say, I'm a little bit worried about Daniel here. Dave and I walk in, and he's talking to a chatbot.
That's just swear to God truth.
It's the truth.
It was the truth.
It's the truth.
I was like, and the funny part is, I was like, hey, stop talking. My friends walked in, and they're like, okay, I'll stop talking romantically.
I know. I was like, who? I was like, who are you talking to?
I was like, romantically.
I was like, hey, Janelle. Wait, what? That's not Janelle. But that's what. Okay, before we started recording here, we had a lot of conversation about today's movie review that we watched, which was Her.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it a lot right now already.
Right now? Okay.
No.
Okay.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
Okay.
It's gonna be the last segment of the show. So, for those of you that did watch the movie review, it's the last episode or the last segment of today's show. If you did not watch the first episode of the show, we have 7 periods. It's like a class. All right, sit down, take your notes. And in our morning announcements today, aside from Daniel's new chatbot, aside from our podcasting app announcements, Daniel had a couple more headlines that we did not get to fit into the show, but I think it's relevant. This is where I told you we need to add another segment. I think we have to add a segment, rapid fire headlines, to start each show.
It does. And so what just happened in Costa Rica, which is kind of interesting. So we go through a lot of weird news, trying to keep up and trying to get outside of the mainstream garbage that we're constantly being fed. Yeah. But there was a drug smuggling cat in Costa Rica in the prison, and people are putting like cocaine on its back and all kinds of other drugs to get inside the prison. The cat is. So
I'm not going to lie. That's kind of genius.
That is super genius.
That's next level criminal, but
the last time when they just caught it, the cat had 230 grams of marijuana, 67 grams of crack cocaine, and inside of 2 packages.
What?
Yeah, that was this month.
This is a half cat, half mule?
And this cat, they've caught it multiple times. Come in and out. Yeah. So
what are you going to do? You going to really jail a cat up?
At that point, you have to.
It's crazy, right?
That is crazy, but relevant. Did you also see the headline? And this is also not in the show agenda, but they shut down the El Paso airport.
Yes, I did see that.
Because everyone's like, this has never happened since 9/11. They've never done this. This is a major airport, top 25 city in the country. Did you see why they shut it down? They shut it down because of cartel drones. Yeah. Cartel drones.
Well, I saw another theory that they found some ancient technology. And they
yes.
I mean, yes. Because that was one of the reasons they would shut it down too, is if they found some type of discovery that would close the airspace.
So I see. This is why I love and hate the internet. Everything that happens, stuff comes out like that.
I'm not kidding you. That's one of the things that scares the shit out of me is pardon my language, that is when we take off on an airplane is getting shot down by an anti-aircraft missile. I don't know why.
Do you remember when that happened? Was it? No. That
was
happened
in New York. In New York.
Oh, what?
Remember
in the U.S.?
So they had a plane in New York. This is back in like 2000. Boy, I can't remember. It was 2003, 2, somewhere in there. And I was watching. Was it CNET? I was watching CNET, and they talked about on the radar this plane that went down into the whatever
Hudson Bay,
somewhere in there. Yeah, somewhere it was like that. But they said on the radar. This is at night. The radar saw a blink, 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 and matched up with the plane. Never heard about it again on the news again. Never heard about it on the news. I heard this.
So what happened to the plane? Did
It
everyone die?
Crashed and burned. Yeah, everybody died. went into the drink. Yeah,
Well, I have never heard of that, but
really.
no, we might have to do a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
The one I was thinking of was the Ukrainian plane. It was either a Ukrainian plane or a Russian plane. You guys remember that?
Oh yes.
Was it the 2014 Crimea timeframe or shortly after? I think it was before this current conflict in Ukraine. But there was a plane that got shot down by I'm pretty sure it was an anti-aircraft missile.
I think it was Putin because someone who was on the
yes,
plane.
there was a lot of
Someone important.
that was a different one. That was the guy, the head of the military, the big military there. I can't remember what they call it. It's like a contract military in Russia.
Oh yes.
And he was trying to basically pull a coup.
Oh, what is his name?
And shortly after, he gets on a plane, and
that's right.
Yes.
And then afterwards, Putin was just like, "Oh, whoops, that's sad to hear it." It's like, whoa, did you just kill that guy?
And everybody else.
And you
erased them from their lives. Done. Checked
Wild.
out. That is wild.
And this is pretty relevant, though, with a lot of the stuff we were talking about and a lot of the stuff that's in the news right now with the Epstein stuff and just the shadiness of governments and heads of the world.
Well, I mean, if someone was going to do something, this drone defense is a big problem. This is a giant problem. So one of the big things that takes down an aircraft is bird strikes.
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
bird strikes is a big problem. Now, if you guys, I don't know, have you seen any of these drone shows that they're doing nowadays?
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And do you see how unison they can do that?
It's terrifying.
Imagine getting into like a terrorist's hands and they throw up a drone defense in front of an aircraft, right? And it's just ingesting all of these drones into the turbines.
Well, have you seen the mothership? The Chinese mothership?
No.
Oh, for the drones when they do their shows?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So, well, and the rumor is that because this came out in like 2020, and then the big rebuke to it was because China supplies a lot of military towards India and I think Pakistan, and their stuff half the time when they try and launch it into the other person's backyard, it doesn't explode, or it explodes off when they try and shoot it off. So it's like, can China really do this? But it was this mothership that was like the biggest plane of all time that carried, hundreds of thousands of drones, but it moved so slow and it wasn't like a B-2 bomber. So it's like, yeah, nice try, but we're going to see that thing coming.
Yep.
It's terrifying. But I don't even know where, like, there's so much to cover here. We're already jumping right
I know,
into this.
we're way off topic now.
That's all right. Back to the planes. I'm already terrified of planes is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I hate flying. I hate flying.
You
I
hate
do.
flying.
And it's stuff like that. There's so many variables when you go and fly a plane. There's the mechanics. There's the stewards. There's the pilots. There's the baggage handlers. There's so many variables at play, and all it takes is one person to show up and have a bad day. So I will go down these rabbit holes, and I don't know why I do this, but they're like the other nights. Well, that's probably a couple weeks ago now, but I've been down a YouTube rabbit hole in the KHL, listening to stories about the Russian hockey league, the professional hockey league.
Yeah.
And in like 2014, I don't know if you guys remember this, there was a whole team that died in a plane crash. An entire team in Russia died, and one of the guys used to play for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, I do
Pavel
remember that.
Demitra. They died. That plane crashed because of pilot error. They have two different planes that have very similar brake pedals, and one of them, it's very easily mistaken. He had his foot on the brake while he was trying to take off, and that's how the plane crashed because they took off and didn't have a speed. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know.
He never hit V1. Oh my gosh.
See, this is how we're starting the show. Just giving me anxiety.
So I used to be. For anyone that doesn't know, I used to be an aircraft mechanic at Northwest.
This is why it's important. You have a very inside view.
I used to be A&P.
And I used to be in the air traffic control. So yes, this is not like out of nowhere. But yes, you have a close up.
I've seen stuff. I mean, I'll tell you what, this is not to scare people because I don't want to do that. But I'll tell you one thing that I can personally firsthand tell you, there are a lot more close calls than you think that happened. Things that happen, even planes landing without landing gear. And that happened that you never hear on the news, but they're happening out there. It's happening. Shoot, I just came back from Florida, and we had to do an emergency landing because we had smoke in the cabin.
What?
Yeah, there was smoke in
on
the
your
cabin.
plane?
On my plane, yeah, on my plane.
Did you land in Minneapolis,
and
or did you
listen to
land
this.
somewhere else?
We were flying we flew into Orlando. When we landed, all the fire trucks are there and blah, 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 and they make you stop there, and they, ladder up and that. And then the ambulance came in, and the pilot, they had to take the pilot away because he was like having a nervous panic attack.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like by the paramedics did.
This is recent?
This is like in the last 3 weeks of my life.
I know I've told you guys this story, but I'll tell it again, and I'm pretty sure I've told it on the old show. But I had a similar situation. Thankfully, we didn't take off, but it was the day I was leaving for basic training, and smoke started filling up the cockpit as we were taxiing. And I'm like, what's going on? This is not good. This is not good. And then they called the flight off. They're like, oh, we got to cancel the flight. You know, there's smoke in the cabin. We got to make sure we got everything right before we take off. So we're going to delay the flight. Then we had to stay a whole nother night. So I'm literally leaving for basic training. And I'm like, this is a sign. God's giving me a sign. Don't go to basic training. This is it. This is it.
I'm going AWOL.
Yeah. So I had to sit the whole night. I don't even think I slept. Be like, oh yeah, hopefully that's probably the same plane that we're getting on tomorrow morning, you know? Anyways, yeah.
Man.
So
yeah, like I said, I don't want to scare people. I want to start telling stories, but
we could go forever, I'm sure, but I'm sure those will come out as the show progresses. But to leave this at rest, it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe to fly.
it is pretty safe. It actually is pretty safe. I wouldn't get on a plane if it wasn't safe.
Yes. Very few people die when they fly a plane. Very few. So
You used to be a paratrooper? You're like, yeah. Why is that? You're jumping out perfectly good airplanes. Be like, no, those are Air Force airplanes. Not perfectly good.
Yeah. Yeah, don't even get me on those planes. Anyways, all right, folks, we got to get into today's show. Welcome once again. We are on all podcasting apps. If you are watching on the YouTube channel, please make sure you are subscribed. And if you have not noticed yet, we have been posting clips from the show. So if you can't sit down and listen for the whole 2 hours right now, we'll be posting highlights from the show throughout the week. So make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Ding, ding. All right. And I'm sure at some point we'll have some sponsors too, but we got no sponsors right now. So you are our only sponsors. First period. Sit down, everyone. Take your notes. Get your notepads out. We got some facts to share. We got a semi-grotesque / funny one here to start, and then some more depressing ones after this. But first, we'll get to why. First, fact number 1. Sniffing your own farts could boost brain power and fend off Alzheimer's, new study shows. Researchers at Johns Hopkins Medicine have found that hydrogen sulfide, the rotten egg-smelling chemical compound expelled when one breaks wind, could protect aging brain cells from cognitive decline. Which is Alzheimer's affects roughly 500,000 new patients each year in the U.S. So there you go. If you are worried about Alzheimer's, if you have a family history, start pulling the Hollywood. Start doing like the celebrities do. Huff your own farts.
This is the best thing. Wait, does it have to be your own or like if my wife's farts? Because my wife Dutch ovens me all the time. Like, but not like while she's sleeping, you know, and I got to marinate in it.
Everyone likes their own brand.
Everyone likes their own brand. This is grotesque. Delete this from the show.
No, that's not true.
Moving on.
We're sweating now.
This is disgusting.
Sorry.
Farts are not funny, guys. Everyone knows that. Number 2.
What was number 2? I'm really regretting saying that. Sorry.
No, it's on the record now, dude.
Go ahead. Just keep going. What's wrong with us? Okay. Number 2.
Okay, this is a good one. According to Nielsen ratings, CNN has lost almost 2/3 of its viewership since 2016. So I wonder why.
Now they're down to 1.
Yeah, nursing homes are opening up.
Nursing homes are opening up. The airports are changing channels, so they're losing viewership.
Boomers are dying.
Yeah.
Boomers are dying. Well, you know what? In 10, 15 years, I don't think a lot of these news stations are going to be up, even Fox News included, because if you look at their viewership, it's mostly older people.
Yeah.
Mostly older generations. So, but after CNN in the last, 10 years, I think this is one of the least surprising things I've seen. They even resorted to, we had talked about it last week, they fired like half of their journalists,
Yeah, what's next? I'm having a harder. The older I get, the worse watching news is becoming.
Oh, it's awful.
It's just such an echo chamber of boringness.
If I do watch, I try to turn on Fox News and I make it like 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, you guys are just as bad. You guys are just as bad.
The free one, Fox Live. They just go up into all interviews. They don't even give you an anchor. Does not give an opinion at all. Just
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's-
see, that's how it's supposed to be,
I
right?
wonder,
Yeah.
is that the same one as like Fox Headlines? Because there's like a Fox Headlines too.
Might be, yeah.
And it's all like the the C roll or whatever they are of our stars.
Dude,
They're like nobody
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
like it too.
What is that called?
Fox Live. So they
Is it on like YouTube TV and stuff?
It might be. I got mine on Samsung TV,
Nice.
the freebie.
There is something like that. I don't know if that's what it's called though. There is something like that though on YouTube TV. I turn that
think
on
it
a
is
lot
on there.
because they'll talk about other stuff, and it really doesn't feel that biased actually.
No, and they're the one that I watch. They're always like, "All right, we're gonna go to Pennsylvania because whoever is speaking now," and then it's like, "All right, now we're gonna go over here because here," and then we're waiting for
Yep.
President Trump, so
Yes,
we'll be back
same
here.
thing. Yep.
So
It's not
just
like
in and out.
it's not a panel of people
No,
going,
there's-
these libtards over here, these magatards over here. It's like, okay, this isn't news. You can't
Right.
call yourself news
Yeah.
if you're giving opinions and color commentating. Like,
Right. Yeah. They haven't been given the narrative. Now they're regurgitating it.
yeah, it's
Like, no, I don't want to hear that.
yeah. Well, so it's good that we might be losing CNN here soon. So there's some positive news for you. Here's some maddening facts. Here's another stat for you that this really boils my blood here. Number 3. This is from last year, but for some reason it went viral again this week. Maybe she's made an announcement, but Senator Joni Ernst has revealed that the IRS employees owe $50 million in unpaid taxes.
What?
Nearly 6,000 IRS employees, almost 10% of the agency, have significant unpaid tax balances. The average amount owed about $8,000 per employee. Why is this not a big deal, dude?
Dude, you didn't see the video that was back in? Remember the original Zeitgeist that came out?
A long
and it
time
had
ago,
like
yeah.
3 pieces, and one of the pieces was the tax thing. And they interviewed tax people that worked at the IRS building, and they all said, after working for the IRS, I'll never pay taxes again.
What? They all
Yeah.
said that?
And so this is part of the, there's another branch off into this, but so technically, I guess how they say it's goes is as long as if you don't file this year and you don't file ever again, they almost consider you dead. So then they don't. But if you don't file for 10 years and then you go file again, it triggers a system of like, whoa,
Okay.
what have you been doing for 10 years?
So I was in a audit, not for me, but for a business, and I kind of it was a long audit. It was almost a year audit. I made friends with this gentleman that was in the IRS, just BSing with him and that every day.
He was like coming in your office and
Yeah. Well, I
doing
mean,
his job.
we had to make an office for him, and he was next to my office.
okay.
So we were just chatting that here and there. And I said, what's the easiest way not to get caught by the IRS? Like, what do you not do? And he's like, don't file. He said, that's the easiest way. Don't report.
What?
He said, yeah, that's the easiest way to be caught is to report, but report poorly,
yeah.
right? Like bad reporting. He said, not reporting, then they have to find you. They have to seek you out. And it kind of goes with what you just said.
And that's how I got triggered because I didn't file taxes because at my one job.
How long ago was this?
2013, 14, and 15. So I
Okay.
didn't file for like 3-4 years. And because me and my boss were like, now if you make under $10,500 on paper, you don't have to file because you're critically poor. And I technically only made that much. I'll just say I made that much. But so everything was kind of a write-off. But the part where we got triggered when I went to go do my taxes when I got married and stuff was we didn't pay Social Security. Yeah.
Dude, this is crazy. We need to come back with this t-shirt right
Oh,
here.
I know. Dude, we do. Yes.
This t-shirt, remember this
That is my
t-shirt?
favorite. Yes. That is, I feel like, my favorite t-shirt we made.
That was a good t-shirt.
Dude, I got audited when I was 18 because when we were kids, our grandparents, they would buy us bonds, U.S. bonds,
Yeah.
for like a savings for college. And I was going to college, so I cashed my bonds, and it was like $2,000 total. So the gains on those bonds was, I don't know, $800. But it's a federal bond, so it automatically triggered, and I didn't file because I was like, oh, whatever. I mean, I don't make any money. I think I made maybe $6,000 working for the city or something.
Yeah.
You know? And then, so yeah, I got freaking audited at 18 years old over that much money. Like, what do you do? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Why are you auditing an 18-year-old and wasting these resources?
At one point, something was wrong on my taxes, and they just basically went into my bank account and took like $130 or something like that.
What?
It was. I don't know if they overpaid me or
Oh,
I
wow.
was.
No, it's,
Yeah, but
but this right here is maddening Because I pay taxes every year. I do it the right way. I literally have never, I do what is within the laws. I write off what I can under the business, but I have not ever taken any risks, and I pay a lot of taxes. So to see this, it really pisses me off.
I don't know. It's par for the course. You know, it's look at where we live. We live in Minnesota. Now the fraud is overload right now. ICE is leaving, which is another crazy story.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
You know, yeah, it's another crazy story. But I'm not going to go down that. But no one's talking about the fraud. What, $18 billion is, or whatever the estimate is. If that's true, if it was $18 billion, all of that money isn't hitting the kids. Isn't hitting all these people that need this money. Yeah. Right? Like, and no one's up in pissy arms about it. And the other thing that actually pisses me off about that is then I sit in here, my kid came home from school the other day and it's like, the teachers were mad about ICE, but they weren't talking about the fraud. Now, if the fraud never happened and they dispersed that 58,000 K through 12 teachers in the state of Minnesota, that'd be a check for $356,000 per teacher.
Yep.
$356,000.
Yep.
But they don't seem to give a shit. Why is that? It's part of my language. I'm getting a little riled up here, but
now I'm pissed.
But I don't understand why nobody gets mad about that. And here we are now. We have IRS agents not even paying their taxes, breaking all this frauds, going over to Somalia. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. And it's people like me, you, Dave, and probably most of our listeners. They're sitting here paying, doing things the right way, being honest, way overtaxed.
Yep.
I mean, it's coming from every angle of life. I don't even think we can comprehend how bad we're being taxed. The average person can.
So on that, I think, and I was going to include this in here, but I didn't. New York City has almost $40,000. They pay almost the amount of tax money that goes in the school system is almost $40,000 per student. So if you have 20 students per class, that's $800,000 per class for 20 students. And the teacher, let's just say $100,000, which is, I think, probably way more than they get paid.
Yeah.
So you have $700,000. Okay, some of that money is going to go for heating the building and the lights and this and that and food and blah. Where does the rest of that money go?
Right.
$700,000? It just doesn't make any sense. So I think and all of that money goes to administrative, like the administrative side of education has gone like this over the last 20 years.
Hospitals too.
And it's maddening. It's like, do we need this person making $200,000 a year to sit and dictate or whatever they do? It doesn't make any sense.
It's just more layers of bureaucracy.
And then you're going to sit and ask us for another referendum next year? Like, dude, get the hell out of here. No, I'm voting no to every referendum. I don't care.
Privatize the school systems.
You privatize pretty much anything, and it's going to work better. But
yeah,
private schools do work really good.
Yeah, no, they do.
And that's another weird thing, though, too. Even with the schools nowadays, even here, the kids are actually made fun of by visiting teams that come here saying that what a ghetto school this is. I think this is a nice school. I think it's pretty nice.
It looks nice.
I think it's for what a school should be. I mean, I always think about my.
Oh, wait, are you talking about just the building itself?
The building and they got the center, the art center, and the building and the gym.
The high school?
And, the high school. Yeah. But it's like, what do they expect? Do they have to be a university nowadays? My grandmother talked about taking a potato to school. Each kid would take a potato to school. They would put it on a stove at lunchtime. They would all be warm. They'd all eat their potato. That was what they did. Yeah. She ended up being published in the books. Like, she got her education she needed from there, right? Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, you don't need more money. Does not equal better education. That's for sure.
As we see the results from the 70s.
As we see the results, yes. But here's the problem: is it's such a big entity now. There's so many people involved that dip into this money that it's never reversing. This is government in general. Yeah. These big bureaucratic structures. When it's such a big welfare organization, you're not going to vote against it. You're not going to vote to lower it. You're just going to, when things go bad, you're going to blame it on someone else. You're going to blame it on the billionaires. You're going to blame it on this and that. It's like, hold on a second. Maybe it's just a grandiose, inefficient system that we've developed here. And that's just, and I've thought that for a long time, but it's for as far as government goes. So I don't think it's possible for a public school to run efficiently unless it's really small. And we know one in the area that seems to do really well. But, yeah. We got to keep moving on, though. We got to keep moving on. We could talk about this for a long time. So two more here that are this one's kind of sad. The typical U.S. worker has $955 saved for retirement. So that's not good.
Mm.
Okay, so on this, we can go down this rabbit hole too, but I saw a thing, which is if you took all the money that you pay in Social Security taxes throughout your life, your working life, if you invested that instead of just in a basic S&P index versus giving it to Social Security and getting paid out what Social Security pays you, you would have like 10 times the amount of money in retirement than you would donating your money or getting it stolen for Social Security taxes. So how the hell is that a thing? How is that so inefficient that you put this money for retirement and when it's time for you to collect, you're getting pennies compared to what you could have had?
Right there. Oh, go ahead.
No, you said it perfect earlier. It was a scam that worked out in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Or when did we start Social Security?
It was it Johnson?
Either way.
No. It was Roosevelt, wasn't it?
Yeah, but once it was already in place, why would we kill something that it was already there?
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean,
it's
Yeah.
and then
1935.
and then the other problem with that is that these people now are going to have to work till their death, or they're going to go on Social Security, which is going to be, a few $1,000s a month if they're lucky, if they made enough money.
Yeah, I think
right?
it's like, I want to say it's like
Not much.
$1,600.
Yeah.
I think that's what the
And then guess what happens? They're living in their house that hopefully they paid it off in 30 years, right? Hopefully they paid it off. But then what are we dealing with here, especially in Minnesota? Property taxes. And they keep going up so fast.
it's crazy.
They're going up way faster than these people's Social Security is going up. The Social Security is going up like 2-3% or whatever it is a year. Property taxes are going up like 11 to 15% a year. So these people
just take out a reverse mortgage, Daniel.
That's
what they're doing.
We
That's
have
what
a
they're
house down the road that's been sitting empty now for about 3 years because the guy did a reverse mortgage, and it's sitting. I mean, it's rotting basically.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people in that position where they're out of money.
Property taxes need to be. If one, I would like them to go away. And yes, there's enough tax money that we can still pay for the roads and the teachers. But if anything, at least at minimum, they should freeze your property taxes at 65 so that someone can plan for retirement.
Or just kill it.
After
After 65. I mean, I think
That'll
it should
never
kill it
happen.
earlier.
That's
But
what I would like.
Unfortunately, that'll never happen. In Florida, maybe. Because they're supposed to get rid of property taxes on your homestead in Florida. I think that's a bill that's being voted on, pushed pretty hard down there. But let's keep going here. Let's keep going. This is a good episode. Damn government!
This is a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This is a good one.
Yeah, no, it's the part that. Nah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. This one pissed me off the most. Number 5, Japan has 123.8 million people living there. They just had an election. They just voted overwhelmingly conservative, like a super majority of conservative, like ultra conservative party in Japan. Here's the part that's maddening. They counted all their votes in the same day. How is that possible? How's that possible? Here, let's look it up. How long does
That's
California
that
take to count votes?
That is wild.
I'm pretty sure after 5 weeks, this is in 2024, December 16. After 5 weeks, California knows its election results.
That is absolutely
5 weeks.
wild.
It took them 5 weeks.
This past election?
This past election.
That's wild.
How?
That's wild.
If all these other, and Japan's not the only one. I want to say India did the same thing. They have like, 10 times the amount of people as Japan?
Yeah.
1.5 billion or something like that? How did they do that? How did they count their election in a day, a couple days? But California, 50 million people in California, and not just the entire country in general. 5 weeks it took them. Insane. Absolutely insane.
You know what's also interesting is that Japan, how little it is, and they have almost half the population that the United States does.
Yeah, about a third. Yeah.
Is it a third?
They have been around a long time.
Or what was it? What would you say the number was?
What did I say? 123 million, and I think there's like almost 350 million.
Is it 350? Okay.
Yeah, close to that. 330, 350.
Okay, so third, but that's a lot of people in that little country.
A lot of people.
Man,
a lot of people
stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, I love that place, man. I do.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a great culture.
Well, you got to appreciate it. The way they respect their elders and the way they do it is like something we got to do.
There's some self-respect in that culture. There's some honor.
Is. Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, statistically, here's the biggest offenders for counting their the results. California is the biggest offender. Arizona is the second biggest. Then it goes
for the length?
For the amount of time that it takes them to count, yeah. Washington, Utah, then, believe it or not, Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
Alaska kind of makes sense a little bit with how.
suppose,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a big. I mean, a very small population for how big it is. You got mountains. It's not like you're in North Dakota driving a highway to highway and flat land.
You got to snowshoe your results in.
Here's the part that doesn't make sense, though, is a lot of this is automated. You put your thing in the machine, it counts it, which I don't trust either.
Yep.
I don't care. I'm not saying there. I'm just, how am I don't trust anyone counting my vote. I don't.
Well, no, you've heard me say it. The pizza party, the class of you're in class in second grade, and the teacher goes, "All right, we're gonna do a pizza party today." And what nobody knows in the class is the pizza's already been ordered. But she wants to make you guys, the whole class, have this idea that you get a choice. So everybody put their heads down. How many people would like cheese? How many people would like pepperoni? How many people would like sausage? And guess what? Your head was down. Nobody knows what it was, but the pizza's already on the way. So it shows up and, oh, well, pepperoni won.
You guys own it.
The only person
You guys own it.
Whoever counts the votes, that stupid teacher. Yep.
Yep. And she was the one that wanted pepperoni the whole time.
Dude, I love that.
Now, and on this election piece too, now we got this, what's going on with the ID thing? I'm hearing like
it's going to the Senate. It passed the House.
Okay, so it's going to get dead there? Is it going to be dead there? Or?
I don't think so. I think it should pass because there's for sure one Democrat, Fetterman, supports it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then did you guys see the gun ammo? HR, I think 1301. It eliminates, you have to report all purchases of gun ammunition.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to freaking that. I got to be on the list. I got to be on a list, man. Like
we were just talking about guns yesterday. Yeah, you have a lot of guns, dude.
I don't know anybody that shoots as much ammo as I shoot. I mean, it's out of control.
So if this passes, see you bye.
See you bye.
We'll have to find a replacement.
I've literally, you know what, on that, no kidding, and then this is God's honest truth. Before you guys came today, like this morning, I've been watching videos on reloading. Like I'm I got to start reloading myself. I can't count on.
Our grandfather used to do that.
Yeah.
Reload?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I've been at. But I'm sure they'll go after the primers and everything, I mean, the cases and the bullets and.
Well, we always talk about gold and silver and Bitcoin and all that good stuff. But dude, ammo, if you bought like 9 mil in 2016 or, before the election, I mean, it's doubled, tripled in price. You cannot go wrong with ammo.
Okay, so what country was it? I was just talking to a guy that's a contractor over in Bosnia, and he was saying that when there's not money, they trade in ammunition. He said that's like the biggest currency, like for countries that crash, is ammunition.
Not surprising.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you remember? Was it 2020 when you couldn't even buy a box of shells?
Dude, yeah, and there was limit to one all around here. Is like
that sucked. That was when I went and bought that gun, and we were at the gun shop. I know I've told you this story, but we were at the gun shop, and I bought a 22 rifle, and I couldn't buy it because my address was not updated. So I ran to the DMV quick, got a refreshed license or whatever. Brought back the paperwork. He's like, "Yeah, oh, you did that quick," and then I was like, "Yeah, it's stupid bureaucracy, right?" And Devin's like, "Damn government getting in our business," and the guy's filling out my paperwork, and he tips his glasses, and he's like, "Who said that?" "You're damn right. We're gonna need these guns one day." He said that. Yeah, he said that.
Every time somebody's like, we don't need the Second Amendment for hunting or protecting. We've got the police. I'm like, dude, that's not why we had the Second Amendment. That's the Second Amendment is to protect ourselves from the government. Like, guys, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't even have
it's
that
a weird
conversation
statement.
at this
It's
point.
a weird statement to say, but that's what the founding fathers.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's get to our meme studies class. All right, second period, folks. Hopefully you got some good anti-government lessons out of that first one.
I love the government.
I love the government. I love paying
algorithm.
taxes. Yeah, help me. Yeah, come on, YouTube, recommend. But anyways, we got 5 memes here. You guys didn't have any memes, right?
Nope.
Not today, okay. So we just got 5 memes. Doing a quick, you laugh, you lose. Whoever, I don't know if you guys are going to laugh at this, but what's the punishment here? If you laugh, dude, you got to stop drinking energy drinks this
That
week.
ain't happening.
If Dave laughs, he can't have any hot stuff this week. No peppers, no.
Ooh.
Dude, I'm looking out for both you guys. That's not even. But all right.
No, if he laughs, he has that. We got to give him the salt. My salt that I just made.
Oh no, what's in the salt?
Cole's pepper.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. I will frickin' no. All right, let's get the memes here. I can't even see them.
I can't either.
Pull up the folder here. All right, so for those of you listening, we'll try to describe here. All right, so we got a picture of Charlie Sheen. He's got cigarettes in his mouth and his ears, literally in his ears and his nose, not even his mouth. It is 2026, and this is good guy Charlie. Read the rest of that, Dave.
You know who's not in the Epstein files? Surprisingly, this guy.
That's true.
I feel like
That's wild, actually.
Isn't that wild? Out of one of the craziest rock star lives. You know who else I'm surprised, at least I haven't seen, is Dennis Rodman.
Actually, that is a good one. He's too busy out in North Korea.
Yeah, he just named his heir. Did you see that?
I did. His daughter.
Kim Jong-un named his daughter, like his 13-year-old daughter or something.
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably going to assassinate her, somebody.
Oh, you guys have seen that, right? Where they assassinated his brother? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to do that as a documentary review. I remember when that story happened, but when the details came out,
It's wild.
what's so funny?
We're just sitting here like laughing about Charlie Kirk or not Charlie Kirk,
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, and now here we are talking about.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay.
This is why we have an agenda, because I got to keep us on track.
Yeah, hold on here. Let me make sure.
Okay, we got the guy, the internet historian guy. If I'm not on stolen land, why am I paying property taxes? Valid. Great meme. That's a top tier meme right there.
That is.
That actually is really good.
That's a top tier meme.
I kind of want to frame that and put it in my
Yeah.
house.
That was the intro to Zeducation today too. The DNR comes and asks for your license for hunting.
Yeah.
I don't need a license on stolen land, sir. All right, you're free to go
You're
hunt.
good to go.
That's a great excuse. Thanks, Billie Eilish, for that one. Okay, let's move on here. Next meme.
Maybe Billy should run. Maybe Billy needs to run for politics.
I think this is a good one.
Politician.
Open that up, Dave. You have to read that one, Dave.
All right. Wife and dog kidnapped by ninjas. Need money for karate lessons. I really want my dog back.
This is a panhandler. Here's my question on this one. Would you guys give this guy money?
No.
No, I quit.
I don't get
Dude,
it.
I quit
I'll do
giving. So in Minneapolis, it was 62 and 100. And if you guys are familiar, that's like a super busy intersection.
Very busy.
Guys sat out there every day. Every day I went to work roughly about 3 o'clock. And every single stoplight that hit, there was minimum 5 people that put, and I gave like $1, like, whatever. New to the cities, I'll fall for the trap. But dude, every day. It's like the guy was making minimum $100 an hour, without a doubt.
Sadly.
Yeah.
The part that makes me mad about that is there's really people in need. It's just about how do you help those people in need.
Right.
And I think if
Yeah.
you're going to give anything, I'd give food to if I saw a panhandler.
That's you got to pick and choose, right? You got to you got to find someone that's handing out that money correctly.
Yeah.
That's on the ground doing it.
The government, Daniel.
Yeah.
The government fixes homelessness. Yeah, so we got to pay more taxes. That'll fix the problem. Let's continue. Dude, we're really I included this one for you. You got to read this one. This is grotesque. This is not funny. This is the real name of a place, by the way. So
I might have to make
Island Chicken.
a quick pit stop, jerk and go. Fight for me.
Because you think this stuff is funny.
It is funny.
I imagine that's like a Jamaican place. Jerk chicken's pretty good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds amazing. You know, that's like that gas station. Probably anyone from the South knows Come and Go. You know, it's like that one. That's another one. It's like, what the hell? Like, what kind of, who figured that out? Right? I'd say KUM and go. It's like
The other one is In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out.
It's like, oh, you're going to eat this junk food. In it goes, out it goes, you know.
That is kind of a good point.
Gross, right?
That is a bad name.
Do we have one more?
Yeah, we got one more.
One more. Oh, this is another good one. This is another top tier meme. There's a guy getting pulled over by a police officer. Can I see your ID? No, sir, I'm voting today. That's a great meme.
That is a good meme.
Great meme because
good meme.
you need a license to fly on an airplane. You need it to go rent a hotel room. You need it to buy liquor, to get tobacco. You need it to drive a car, but you don't need it to vote.
You need it to get a job.
You need it to get a job.
Do you need it?
You need it to open a bank account. You need it for everything.
How do you get welfare if you don't have a bank account?
Yeah.
I'm just asking. So
Yeah,
poor people can't. If you're a poor person without an ID, you're SOL.
Have you seen the clip? It's super viral.
They're making
Every
start.
time this conversation comes up, but this guy goes into like Harlem in New York because the argument from the white liberals is if we put in ID laws, then black people can't vote. They're just unfortunate, and we're here speaking for them. And then the guy goes into Harlem and he's interviewing black people, and they're like, why would someone say that? Of course I have an idea. What do they think? I'm stupid? And they go to like 20 different people and they're like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Yeah, of course I have an idea. So it's like, so that's the part that always makes me laugh is like, they feel like they're talking for these groups of people that they see as beneath them, that have this inability to go get an ID.
Well,
it's such a stupid, legitimately racist narrative that they stand behind. It's like, how do they not see this?
It's really weird. You know what? And I see that a lot where people are speaking for people that can speak for themselves.
Yes.
Like you see that all the time. It's like, who the hell do you think you are? Like speaking for these people.
Mhm.
I mean, like, why are you the speaker for all these people just out on the street? It makes no sense to me.
I have a bachelor's degree. I'm a senior in college. Okay, I know, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing the righteous thing. I'm a virtue signaler.
Who's gonna mow our lawns?
Yeah. Who's gonna pick our crops?
Who's gonna pick our crops?
Who's gonna clean your toilet, Donald Trump?
Who? Who?
All right. So that's what we got for meme studies. Share the memes, spread the memes. This is a very important, probably the most important class of this entire university education program. So take them very seriously. We will continue doing these. We'll kind of jump in and out of into the comments. We're just kind of playing around with some stuff. So share the memes, folks. All right, moving on here. In honor of the Super Bowl, this is our next topic, class period number 3. We're going to talk about a number of things with the Super Bowl. This is arguably the biggest event in pop culture, in American pop culture. I mean, is there anything bigger than the Super Bowl?
Well, if you go overseas, dude, soccer.
Well, American culture.
Yeah.
That doesn't count, dude. No one gives a crap about soccer.
I saw, dude, it was just a regular Champions League game. For 75 million tuned into it, more than the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not surprised. Soccer's huge around the world.
I wonder where UFC's getting.
Not even close.
Not even close. Okay.
Not
This is
even
all
close.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think, didn't they sign a contract with one of the mainstream
Dude, yeah.
channels?
But
Yeah.
And the other problem too is I only watch UFC if there's some character fighting.
yeah.
Right. I suppose.
McGregor. If Patty Bimlett's fighting, I'm like, that guy's hilarious. He's funny. He's a big character. But if it's not someone that is able to sell the fight to me, I'm just like, I don't even care.
Dude, the lifespan of fighters is just too quick.
Yeah. So there's nothing bigger in the United States for pop culture than the Super Bowl. Did you guys watch the game?
Kind of online. I mean, I'm a box score guy.
He is. He'll have like his fantasy league playing. He has the ability to turn on the TV and watch the game, but he'll sit and watch the thing refresh on
I like
ESPN.
watching the plays.
That little football that's moving.
Yes. That's what he does. I don't know
It's
what's wrong
paid
with
off, dude, because that's how I called Joe Hagg's touchdown play. Well, should have been touchdown
Should have been.
play.
Touch.
Should have been.
Great defensive play.
Because you don't get to see who's the eligible receiver on the line.
Yeah.
When
That was tough.
So, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the game. It was boring.
I was in and out of it. It was one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was super boring.
And predictable, too. I think we talked about it last week, that the Seahawks were probably going to win by a lot.
Yeah. I think the only part about it that I don't even know. I was actually rooting for New England once it was so tilted, but I don't know. There was the other piece of me that was rooting for Sam Darnold so that the Vikings fans can cry.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, after cutting him after 14 wins?
Yeah,
And then they cut him?
I was definitely crying for sure. But so, okay, we can talk a little bit more about the game, but there's a couple things about the Super Bowl that I want to hit on. First, sports gambling. I want to talk about the halftime controversy, kinda. I don't know. And then two other things. Did you guys see the story about Sam Darnold's tax hit in California?
I did.
I did.
Okay, we'll get to that. And then the Ring camera commercial. So first off, back to the game. Most boring game I've watched in a long time. Again, I was kind of in and out of it. At halftime, put the girls to bed, come back. The game's already in the fourth quarter. It's way over. So I'm like, I literally turned it off in the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter. It's over. But yeah, it was a really bad game. But congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. I am happy for Sam Darnold. I still don't think he's elite, but he did it. They won the Super Bowl, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if you're elite or not or whatever. But so I wanted to first hit on the sports gambling. And there's a sign here that Vegas is dying. Not really, but it's losing traffic because of online gambling. So approximately $133.8 million was bet on the Super Bowl with Nevada sportsbooks. So this is all of Nevada, not just Vegas. And I think there's some casinos in like Reno and stuff, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of spread out.
Atlantic
But
City.
well, that's the East Coast.
I know. I wasn't sure if you were talking about places outside of Nevada.
No, dude, that's Helsinki.
Yeah.
It's Helsinki syndrome he's thinking of. Yeah.
Dude.
So anyways, for Nevada sports books, this is a 10-year low. A 10-year low on sports betting.
No way.
Should be a good thing, right? Right? I would think so. Because I think,
10
but
year
this
low,
is
what
why.
do you mean? Okay.
10-year low of people betting on the Super Bowl.
I think I know where you're going with this.
But it's because, in my opinion, things like this. The leading prediction market, and this I love that they call this a prediction market, and this is why this is actually legal in Minnesota. You can't sports gamble online in Minnesota, but you can use prediction markets. And there's a little tiny difference in prediction markets and sports gambling. Tiny bit. Like you can there's a market on these things, right? So you're betting against other people. It's not a sports book.
Swapping shares.
You're swapping shares of the game, and yes.
So you can technically back out of a bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if,
you could sell your bet mid-game.
Mid-game.
Yes, in these prediction markets.
Right.
They're sports books. And the other thing too, do you have Kalshi?
No, but I think it was Polymarket had $280 million, I believe, on the game.
Okay, so there's Polymarket's probably the second one. I just want to go through because I did use this. You get like a free $25. I'm not promoting this, by the way. I'm not. I think it's bad, but I want to share what you can bet on these things. But first, let me finish the story here. So at Kalshi, more than $1 billion was traded on the Super Bowl. Keep in mind, the entire state of Nevada, in the gambling capital of the world, had $133 million. So Kalshi had more than $1 billion.
Holy moly.
And this included bets on $113 million on the first song played by Bad Bunny. People have bet $113 million on that. $24 million on whether actor Mark Wahlberg would attend the game. And then the $1 billion figure includes wagers tied to odds to win the Super Bowl throughout the season. So, a lot of money spent online. And before we talk more about the sports betting, because I think it has become a huge problem in our culture.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, my computer's about to die, and I had my notes in here. I'm like, shoot.
No. Do you have a charger?
Yeah, no, it's upstairs. It's upstairs. Go ahead. Keep going.
You can go grab it if you want.
Go grab it. Okay. Well, yeah.
I'll just go through this. So on Kalshi, and what'd you say? There's Polymarket, there's Kalshi, there's a couple of other prediction markets.
And they typically they work together, so they sync their markets together. Yeah.
Ooh, okay,
there's a few because when I first started doing it, you could play the odds on each one, and it was wild. Actually.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But here are some other things that you can bet on. So let's go to culture. Top song on Weekly Top Songs USA Today. Oscar for Best Picture. Who will win Beast Games Season 2? I'm pretty sure that's all recorded already, isn't it?
I think so. Dude, they had the wildest one was the Pope, because back when what was the Pope that just passed? Anyway, it was during March last year, and he was really sick, and it was like, will the Pope be the Pope at the end of the year? Yes or no?
Okay. So yes, and they've been under a lot of scrutiny for betting on things like that.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the part. So you can technically, the one Polymarket I use, you can technically start any single Polymarket right now. You could do, where do you think the next Zeducation video will be in views? And you could start it yourself, but you have to initiate the pool of money to engage. So somebody can't go dump in $1,000 at 50,000 views.
Yeah.
And then the odds would go, completely skyrocket.
Yeah.
And then I could go throw in like $1 on the next level.
So, okay, so here's some more things you can, look at this. You can bet on this. The highest temperature in New York City today.
Yeah.
You can bet on that.
One guy is sitting 2 months straight on predicting the right weather.
What?
Yeah, because I'll see those pop up in the feed. There's one guy, the really interesting dude. He started with 200,000, and every single day he does about 2 to 5 trades, depending on how many are out there available. And he'll take the 99% odds. So in the final minute of like basketball, you can see like, okay, they're up by 12. They're not coming back. So you can throw 200,000 on them, win like $200. So he did that for soccer and basketball and all these other sports. Turned into $1 million within like 7-8 months, I believe, under a year.
See, here's the danger of sharing those stories, is people hear that and they think they can do that too.
Yep.
The chances of you betting on sports, betting on this random stuff and winning is very, very low.
Yep.
And I'm not against gambling and like going with some buddies to the casino or betting $100 on the Super Bowl, right? I
Yeah.
think whatever, do whatever you want. But I really do think that this is ruining a lot of people's lives. I think sports
it's disgusting.
You hear a lot of people that get sucked into sports gambling and they don't come back. And they lose their life savings or they lose relationships. I think Phil Mickelson was talking about that, where he said
he's betting unreal money.
Unbelievable amounts of money.
Dude, millions
of dollars. But then he made a post, and it was really, really important of him to do that, I thought, because he said something like, look, it's not even really about the money, but it's about when I was betting this money, I'd be at my kid's birthday, and I wouldn't even be paying attention. I'd be refreshing my phone and looking at lines and looking at points and stuff like this. And that was the sad part. And that's, I think, what happens. Because so for example, I did the $25, right? And whenever I have that money on like a team or whatever, bet $5 on this, $10 on this, and that's what I'd bet. Like hardly any money. That like if I lost that money, it wouldn't ruin my life at all.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it would not affect my life at all if I lost $5. But I was still focused on the game. I was like, come on, you know, like it's like it takes you into a different world, and it
only takes 10 flips, man, to hit a nail.
Yeah. So I don't know, man, and the fact that $1 billion. It's just, I feel like it's a really, really addictive thing, a very destructive thing, and it is mainstream in our culture now.
Yeah.
You go to any podcast, and it will not be on this podcast, I promise you, because I don't think it's right. I feel like it's a wrong thing. I just saw, I think Joe Rogan has it. I saw
Tim Dillon has it.
I saw Theo Vaughn has it on his. I'm like, dude, what do you got? We can't be sitting here talking about important things and like promoting this stuff. And then the argument is like, well, they have the choice. Yes, they have the choice. And I get that. You have the decision. You have the free will to gamble or not. But if you take someone with an addiction problem, if you hook someone with an addictive personality, which is very prevalent, they ain't coming back. It's not happening. And it's just a very, very bad thing to be promoting, I think.
Yeah, there's no reason to bring the horse to the water if the
exactly
water's bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you guys remember that old MTV show? It was... they always took people with like a kind of a secret life in a way, and the one was I'm a gambler, and the dude would go in, and it was unfortunately like you kind of laugh at it because the dude won, but he threw like $200 on a hard four on the craps table, and he was like sitting there joking with his buddies, but he didn't know what he was doing. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? You just threw $200 on a hard four. What? What? And all of a sudden the dude throws a dice, and he's like, hits the freaking hard four, 2 2s, and he's like, oh man. Like, you know, he was
Is that a super hit?
Yeah, dude, he had the super hit, and he left the casino. He was like, yeah, I'm going to live on this one for a few days, you know, just like.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Dark,
not hilarious.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Did you guys hear that Super Bowl streaker bet on himself? I don't know if that's true or not.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that story comes out every year. I don't know if that's
really?
true. Yeah.
Okay.
I did see the headline, but I was like, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, just from what I saw, you know, again, this is social media. I'll only take it for what it's worth, but he has done this before. The stunt is the same. He's bet on himself before.
Okay,
and
maybe
he's
that's
supposed
why
to be kicked out of the all NFL games because I think he did it last year or the year before.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
And made it back in.
They said that they had canceled his bet from last year, but then he did an offshore bet this year where it doesn't have the same rules to penalize him for being the person that runs it. But it was like 50 grand he bet.
If you're going to fix the bet in your favor, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. But you know what? He won, I guess, if that's true. I hope that's true.
So I had like I had a disaster I was dealing with here. Just nothing crazy, but so we could make a bet like, are you gonna say a certain word on a podcast? That's a thing.
Well,
I don't know if I don't know if you could do that, but
yeah. So how it kind of works is, at least the one I was working with, you have to be able to put they still approve it, but you have to put the money in for the pool,
right? Because
there has to have that money in the middle that allows it to go up and down without it, getting completely destroyed. But technically, yes, you could. Like, I believe Polymarket takes requests.
And you can, for example, are they going to say a certain word? There was a bet recently about Trump saying, I don't even remember what it was, but if he said this certain word during this speech, then, you know, you'd win if you bet on it. Yeah. And same with, they do it every time too when Powell does his Federal Reserve speech.
Yeah. What's his opening words? good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah. If he says that, it's like a super popular bet. But it's out of control. And this is the part where I feel like this is another sign of our, like a very sick culture, that this is so mainstream. And I just do not think it's healthy for people to get into. I mean, I can't even imagine betting like thousands of dollars on games. I'm sitting here betting $5 to $10 and I'm like, come on. It's just like, so I see what it does to myself. I can't even imagine if you're betting like life-changing or life-ruining money.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like putting $100,000 on the Super Bowl?
I honestly thought I put $1,000 down on the Seahawks, and I didn't. The transaction didn't go. I honestly did.
Yeah,
It
you were
didn't
on
go.
the phone with me.
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on?"
What would you have won? Like $400, $300?
It was like at that time when I put it down, it was it was $400.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you lost out.
Whatever. Not a big deal.
Okay, let's move on to the halftime show because we're already going pretty slow here.
Did you talk? Wait a minute. Were you going to talk about Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to talk about 3 more things with the Super Bowl. The halftime show. Did you guys watch the halftime show or see clips, or did you buy into the rage? Were you pissed off?
No.
Were you angry?
No.
I have kids, dude. That's my time to put the computer down and go hang out with the kids for a half hour.
Do you think people were validated in their outrage? Because I wouldn't even say there was a lot of outrage. I feel like it was a pretty small group of people that were outraged.
Yeah, it was talking heads of social media were the only ones outraged by it.
So what do you think?
Well, if you watch anything with my wife, she's very cryptic. Like, she reads into everything. And one of the things that she had noticed is the telephone poles were there's 3 crosses on the telephone poles, and she's like, "What's this?" Again, I don't know.
The telephone wires?
Yeah, the telephone poles, and they looked like 3 crosses up, and I don't know.
I didn't see that until you shared it with me, but I thought it was just a political statement as far as like the crappy power grid in Puerto Rico.
That's what I was thinking too. I like the show. I thought the show was okay. I don't like the guy. I thought the performances of the show, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I had no idea what he said. I still don't even know what he said, but I didn't mind the show. Personally, I didn't mind the show. I watched it. I was like, whatever. I was going to turn it over to that Turning Point one that they had. I didn't know how to do it. I was like, where the hell is this at? It's on some app? Do I got to download this app?
That was on YouTube.
So then I just gave up. I was like, whatever. I wasn't prepared to churn it.
Yeah. No, I feel like, first off, I feel like it was kind of a slap in the face a little bit by the NFL in picking a Spanish-speaking singer.
Yeah,
right.
know
It's
your
like,
audience.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like, hey, this is literally the biggest sport in the United States. A very large majority of the people here speak English, and you're going to pick a artist that they're not even going to be able to understand unless they know Spanish. So I definitely understood that. But then, it's like, okay, let's look at it from the NFL's perspective. They already have the United States captured. And most people, I don't give a damn about the halftime show. I just want to watch the football game. And I think that's how most football fans feel. So to try and branch off and get into the Spanish-speaking market,
Right.
not a bad idea, not the worst idea to get other people to tune in around the world. So from a business decision, it makes total sense to have the largest Spanish-speaking artist in the world be the halftime performer. I mean, it totally makes sense from a business perspective. Is it still a slap in the face to NFL fans? Absolutely.
Well, the other good thing, I think on that decision to me was that it was a Puerto Rican. So he's
American.
He's American. Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that was a smart piece. That was a smart piece of it. I just go back to my initial feelings versus I also have another opinion on it now after the fact, after I've digested a little bit and like thought about this and heard some other people's opinions on it. My initial thoughts, I liked it. I didn't mind the entertainment. If I was there, I don't know if you've watched how they moved around. The people that were actually there probably could see like 30% of the show.
Oh yeah, they couldn't hardly see
because they
anything.
were buried by those human weeds.
Yeah,
which was a little bizarre, but
I saw some good memes on that. My grandpa in Vietnam. Watching
That's hilarious.
See, that's how I knew that it wasn't as controversial as past performances because there wasn't that many memes. There weren't that many memes that came out about it. At least not that I saw. And I'm online. I'm like terminally online. So, but on what you were saying, that's the part that was like, oh, come on, guys. Is people were like, they're not even having an American. It's like, dude, he's from Puerto Rico. That's a part of America.
Yeah.
American territory. That's part of America. Like they pay taxes and stuff, and they get more back than they pay in taxes. But that's another conversation. So I feel like it highlighted a lot of this, a lot of ignorance. That I was like, okay, I can't side with you guys here. I just can't.
Yeah.
And then So on this, while you're pulling up what you're pulling up, Daniel.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the ratings. So the ratings immediately after the halftime show, a lot of the talking heads were saying that the halftime show for Turning Point was a huge success, and by all means it was. I think that it says, according to Fox, they had an estimated of 10 million live viewers and 25 million social media views. And I don't know if that includes Rumble views, but if it does, you got to subtract those because those we don't know how those count.
Any live viewers, this is like well known throughout any live streaming. When you hit the 6-figure mark, you're sitting good if only 40% of that is view botted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
and there's a lot of speculation that it was view botted, but that many people, absolutely not. And not to mention, YouTube is very, very, you cannot get away with anything on YouTube as far as bots and stuff. You just can't.
On that, I want to go back to that halftime show. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Metallica like made their career in San Francisco, which a lot of people were pissed about that Metallica wasn't on.
See, that would have been badass.
I cannot believe. Well, because I think Jay-Z is in charge of the halftime show now. So why would he pick Metallica?
But look at who else you have. You have Journey. You have Faith No More, Counting Crows. There's another rapper. I can't remember who it was. That's a big rapper that was from there.
Metallica would be perfect.
But I've seen a lot of people bitching that, like, right now, country's the biggest in the country, and even with Jay-Z's wife, I mean, she does country stuff too. I mean,
well, that's debatable, but
well, I know, I would agree with you, but
Mariah Carey crawling out of when it's her and all the red blood crawling back for one more Christmas.
Before I keep going, the Super Bowl halftime show, this is what I was going to say is that it was reported that like so many people tuned out of the halftime show that it was unbelievable, blah, blah, blah. But then you have other outlets saying that it was the most watched halftime show next to last year's halftime show. So over 128 million people were watching between 8:15 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern, breaking social media records. So it was a huge success for the Turning Point halftime show, but I'd say it's arguably a bigger success for the halftime show of the Super Bowl. Should they have picked Metallica? Metallica should have been a halftime show a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how they haven't been a halftime show yet.
Wild, dude.
I know. But, and then, so the other part too, I didn't watch either of the halftime shows. I just saw clips. I saw a clip of the Turning Point one, and it was like, I can't remember the artist name. I like the country song. I like the country artist. But to say that should have been the halftime show at the Super Bowl is insane. It was one of the stereotypical country songs like, I just want to drink my beer and shoot my truck and blah, blah. It's like, okay, I love that song. I love the message. But you want that to be the halftime show? Like, dude, that's a very small portion of the country that is going to enjoy that. I'm sorry. But
so would it have to be pop country? Country pop?
It would have to be pop country.
It should be Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen should be performing at all this stuff. Maybe not. I feel like he's kind of past his wave, but he's been on a generational run as far as music goes. So I don't know how that guy has not done more. I know why, because he said the N-bomb, and they canceled him for it. But.
You got to, though. I have to give respect to some of the decisions. I mean, I think, one, they were held hostage, right? Like, I mean, with Jay-Z. But I think as far as, like, NASCAR goes, NASCAR kind of burned out. I think that demographic, like, they ran that demographic as hard as they could. And looking at it from a global standpoint, I mean, they're pushing European, they're pushing freaking South American. I mean, we've been going to Mexico City. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world. And again, going back to it, just finalizing, it was freaking Costa Rica. I mean, the guy, most people that I've talked to, Puerto Rico. Most of the people that I've talked to, though, that speak Spanish sound like he had like something in his mouth.
I saw that too. A lot of Spanish speakers said, I can't even understand him.
Yeah, which was interesting.
Well, the other part, too, that I don't like about his halftime show, and this goes with pretty much every halftime show, when you translate his lyrics, you're like, whoa, this is what we're going to promote?
Right.
This degeneracy? Are you kidding me? Like, and that's not just him. This is like, you take pretty much any halftime performer and you see what they're promoting, sex sells, right? That's what they're promoting.
Although one of the best or one of the most memorable halftime shows is what? Janet Jackson getting her boob.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was going to say the best ever was Prince, hands down. He was actually playing music, real music. It started raining, and he's playing Purple Rain with his iconic cymbal guitar, dude. Like,
that's awesome.
It's the best halftime show ever.
I don't want to get too far off here, but you know what was a good halftime show? Was the Christmas halftime show with Snoop Dogg with the Vikings.
I think
the Vikings.
Oh yeah,
that was a very good one.
That was good. They had Lainey Wilson there. I mean, they had a mixture of people there.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not bad.
That was good.
It was good. Two more things, then we got to move on because we're going really slow today. We're ranting today. This is, I have to say this because I always see the people that are like, Tyler, this is just bread and circus, man. They just freaking, it's football, dude. They're just brainwashing you so you're distracted, man. And we're going to talk about this more, but it's like, every time I hear people like that, I'm just like, oh. And I honestly pity those people because it's like, no, you can actually chew gum and walk at the same time.
Yeah.
You can care about multiple things in your life at the same time. You don't just have to sit and doom scroll and sit and get angry with news all day long. They're taking over, dude. It's the elites. Oh my God, you can't watch football because they're freaking out. Justin Bieber. It's like, no. Hold on. I know exactly what you're talking about. I did read those parts of the Epstein files too. I know about that. And I also enjoy football once a week for 3 hours. So shut the hell up.
If anything,
it drives me nuts, dude.
I'm over here giggling like a little girl right now. If anyone's watching this is honest to God how we talk to each other when the camera's not rolling. This is exactly the same flow.
It really is.
It is. It really is. And I'm laughing because I'm like, people probably think we're acting and we're not. We're just like sitting here talking. This is how we talk.
This is just bread and circus, dude. This whole podcast is bread and circus. They're distracting you from the real issues that matter. They're eating babies. I know. They're talking about walking jerky in the Epstein files. I know. I've seen it too.
We need to make that short into that Magdalene or make what's his name? What he was talking about the guy that went around the ship around the world.
Magellan?
Magellan, thank you.
No.
That's
I
the
love
Magellan
that. That's my favorite AJ clip.
We should turn that into that.
That's not
clip.
who I'm talking about, by the way.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
No. That's just my impression of because AJ gets pretty passionate about that stuff too. But you can care about multiple things in life. I just have to say that because the people that come out and like, I don't watch that stupid crap, dude. I ain't stupid. You kind of sound like it a little bit, but.
No, the real bread and circus is politics, man.
That's
sold.
That's what I'm going to say.
I'm sold on it.
Yes, it is. Politics is the real bread and circus.
They're all-
politics that we see on TV.
Yep.
The politics behind the doors, we can speculate. But the politics on TV, it's all show.
Yep.
Yep, it's all theater. It's all bread and circus. You're right. Spot on.
I've never even heard that term, bread and circus.
You haven't?
No.
It's one of the old philosophers said if you give them enough bread and enough circus, they won't revolt. Something like that.
They'll be distracted.
They'll be distracted.
Like the ancient Roman.
They'll be
times.
I like that.
We have the football, man. We have all this stuff. It doesn't matter. They're all distracted. We can run the Epstein operation.
I like that.
No one's
I feel like there's a lot of truth to that. I'm always like, you know what? We're comfortable. There's nothing's going to happen as long as we're comfortable.
Yeah.
We'll just keep being slaves.
Well, let's take a step back here. For most people that live in America, even if you are at the poverty level, your life is pretty damn good compared to the rest of the world. It's for the history of humans, our lives in America are unbelievably good. Unbelievably comfortable.
You always got to ask yourself this question. If you're stressed out, you're freaking out, a couple questions. Are you dry? Are you warm? Are you fed? If you've met those three criterias in the history of the earth, those were the hardest things to do. Lately, those are the easiest things to do.
Especially in America, in this horrible, awful place of America. Yeah.
When we go through stuff like that, I always like to think of like just time. And it's like, just imagine the guy trying to sell people on fire. You guys, I figured out a way to cook the meat. What are you even talking about? Like,
cook the meat.
Dude, I freaking put these two stones together. It started this red thing. I don't know. We'll just call it fire. And, just imagine the very first, because you see the wheel thing too. Like, how did that guy pitch the wheel? How, just all of a sudden it just kind of worked.
How do they smoke that? Like, someone's like walking around smoking everything, and then finally they're like, you know what? This is the shit we want to smoke. This is the good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you go throughout history. What is the other meme that I always see is like the first guy that had honey? Can you imagine how that went?
The milk one, dude, always kills me.
The first guy that had, hey, this is pretty good. Anyway, we got to move on. We're actually like,
looks like a bunch of bee poop.
We're going to get back to the bread and circus here when we talk about aliens next period. But anyways, more real world stuff, more stuff that we should actually be pissed off about here. And yeah, I think the halftime show thing, it's silly, but I think a lot of people got real pissed, like irrationally pissed off about it. California. Okay, so more on that. We got two more things in the Super Bowl. So California has the highest income tax of any states, and the Super Bowl means 8 duty days in California. And when you have your duty days, you are paid your salary. So Sam Darnold, his salary is about $30 million, I believe.
Yeah.
Something like that. So he has 8 duty days in California of his $30 million salary. And that taxes goes on that $30 million. If you win the Super Bowl this year, you got a bonus of $178,000 for playing in the game if you won. So all the Seattle Seahawks, they got $178,000. Sam Darnold, because he has a $30 million salary and is taxed at that rate, was taxed $249,000 for the duty days in California of the Super Bowl. So he actually, for winning the Super Bowl, he lost $70,000.
$71,000.
He lost money.
Going there, $71,000.
Yep, $71,000. Nothing's wrong with that. There's no problems in that. Yeah, he's rich, Tyler. Take his money.
Got to cure homeless, man.
Yeah, you got to funnel it to the homeless slush fund.
That doesn't even sound legal. How's that even legal? That doesn't even make sense.
That's the world we live in.
So
I would come into a Minnesota.
There you go. I wouldn't even go back to that state. I mean, if I was a player, the players' union should like freaking balk at that all day long.
They're talking about. Everyone's saying, and I agree with this. They should not allow another Super Bowl in California for that reason alone. I mean, that's insane.
That's nuts. Why not go to another country? Why not do it in Mexico City? Then play your guy.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
You know, then not
How about
pay
this?
any taxes.
How about this? International waters, floating stadium.
Dude, they've done it with basketball. They have NCAA. They'll play the Army and the Navy game gets played on a battle carrier.
Really?
And it's super sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do they park it? Because
I think it's off Virginia.
Dude, that would be super sick though. I mean, like think about if you had the football stadium on top of the carrier and then you had only soldiers like watching the game.
I'd
be sweet. Is it
wonder
carrier
if it's big enough?
Yeah.
I was gonna wonder if it's big enough. Let's see.
Hold
on.
Is it aircraft?
How wide is an aircraft carrier?
I mean, the basketball, they had enough for stands and stuff on there.
Oh, yeah. It's 76.8 meters wide. So almost the length, well, not quite, close to the length of a football field. So how wide is a football field?
Well, 50 yards.
Is it 50 yards wide?
I think it's 43 or something.
53 and a third yards wide. Dude, they could do this. They could do it. Absolutely. That has to happen.
Oh my gosh.
That would be sick.
And it's not that wavy. Those things are so big, and they also have those gyros inside those aircraft carriers. Weather's perfect. Boom, done.
International waters. Nobody pays taxes.
Yep.
Problem solved.
Only enemy is a rogue wave. That is the wildest rabbit hole to go down ever.
Have you seen the most treacherous waters in the world between the Antarctica and the tip of South America?
No, maybe I have.
They have rogue waves there.
Usually I look at the ones at the north. I think they're in between the North Pole and because they drill off oil down there, and the waves crash almost up to the top of the oil rig.
Top deck, yeah.
Yeah. Those are sketch.
Wild.
Sketch.
That's wild.
Sketch.
Yeah. And you can't predict them. So it's not like you can read a weather thing like everyone prepare. It's like, no, this thing is coming.
Brace yourselves, baby.
Yeah.
Have fun sleeping tonight.
All right. Gosh.
Let's move on. Last thing in the Super Bowl. Did you guys see the Ring doorbell commercial?
No. I saw a lot on it.
I don't even know anything about it.
So it promoted this surveillance state in the disguise of searching for lost puppies. So it was like, hey, if you opt in on your Ring doorbell camera, and if everyone in their neighborhood had their Ring doorbell cameras opted in, we could recognize your lost dog and find your dog within seconds. And it was like,
what?
I was watching this. This is one of the only commercials I watched. I'm sitting with my wife, and my wife was like, "What do you think of that?" I was like, "That's messed up." Like that feels a little bit. It feels a little
Big Brother
scummy in that they're disguising it as this dog finding thing. It's like, well, what else are they going to use it for? That was my first question. They're not going to just use it for dogs. We're not stupid.
Well, hold on a minute though. I mean, let's be honest. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it with or without our permission.
Yeah.
You know, if they're gonna access that shit, they're gonna have that ability to go in there and take that whatever information they want on there. Guarantee.
Just like Alexa's.
Do you really truly think they're going door to door with this? Who are this ladies? I can't remember her name anymore. That was kidnapped. Did they go door to door?
Guthrie.
You know, did they go door to door, or did they just go into freaking to the ring and to the whatever door?
Well, did you see the video? The guy had a ski mask on.
Yeah.
And did they find the guy?
No, they haven't found the guy.
Okay.
Not that I've heard
They did bring somebody in for questioning, and
they let him go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you even see they have that camera in color now? I don't know how they did that. They must have used some sort of technology.
Filter, yeah. I don't know, man. You should watch the commercial. It's very 1984ish. It's very surveillance state. And we're already there. We're already at that point. Like there's cameras everywhere.
What is that camera system they have in Europe where they're like everyone, they watch people walk around and inside they can connect right inside the store. They can go on the street.
Are you talking about China?
No, I'm talking about in Europe.
Oh, China's there.
Yeah. China's there. Yeah, China's there. But in Europe, they got the same thing too. China's really bad, aren't they? Don't they have like the facial recognition where they're like
social credit?
For years they've had this.
Yeah.
It'll pop up on a billboard like a 70-foot jumbotron that you jaywalked -5 points.
There you go. See, and that's the shit that we give up, right? I mean, the more we start doing this stuff, then they're going to start implementing this against us. When were you home? When did you leave? When did you, they're going to start time stamping what you're doing outside of your house. I mean, at what point is it used against you? Same with your cars. Right. I mean, like at what point is the cars, like they're monitoring how fast you're driving? They give tickets via, I don't even think it's going to get to that. It will get to that level, but I think it will get to the level where we don't even get to drive. That'll get to the level where it's just like you don't even, like people, they're out of the equation.
Well, the thing with the social credit score, did we watch one of those for the last documentary review when we used to do it?
I don't think so. We should watch one.
So over 80% of people approved it in China, wanted the social credit system because it takes that 10% of extremes from both sides and kind of kills them off. And that was the reason because they talked to people that wanted it in. And they're like, well, we have no issues with it. We're not bad people, so why should we care if it comes in?
This is what's going to happen. I will guarantee it. It's going to be the same thing as COVID. It's going to be the same thing as 9/11. There's going to be something that causes mass fear, and people are just going to get on board. I mean, look at 9/11. We got the Patriot Act, and that thing is still around. It's supposed to be temporary. It gave us TSA. It gave us all these things where they can surveil Americans. I mean, and then COVID, we don't have to talk about that. We know what happened during COVID. Something will happen.
Aliens offshore. They're gonna hit the land.
Yes. Okay.
All right, go into it.
We'll get into this. What's gonna happen? Tell me. What's your prediction, Dave?
Well, if aliens come offshore, the Dracos hit land, and they start, which is the reptilians, by the way. If you want to know their real terms, how can we surveil? How can we keep things on track? Well, if you guys all accept the Ring doorbell, guess what? We'll monitor it for you, and we'll make sure we'll notify everyone if a Draco ends up down your street. And
dude, that's not. Hold on, dude, stop, dude. And this guy knows every rabbit hole there is. That's why I'm laughing. It's out of control, dude. You bring anything up, he's like, "Oh yeah, I read about that." Yeah. No, here's what's gonna happen, dude. It's like, dude, what? Where did you find the time? Hold on. But this is. I'm also laughing because I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it's gonna be something weird like that.
Well, it's tied in the Ring doorbell, but I mean, like it will be something catastrophic on that level that is gonna, because we talked about the drones, the way they can take I think the biggest drone show is over 100,000 drones together. And you're telling me like a fake alien invasion wouldn't be pretty easy to do that by sending those up there, and people would lose their mind. If they went on the news and said, we have a breaking news, here's a state of the address from the president, we are being invaded, we don't know if they're hostile or unhostile or friendly, but be prepared, this is real, this is not a drill. Well, it's probably a drill. But it doesn't
Project
take
Bluebeam.
much. It does. And it starts with something like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, what measures can we take to protect every one of you?
Here, government, protect us, government.
Yep. Yeah. And we're willing to sacrifice, just like in China, 20% of the population for the mass majority.
Maybe that'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen. What I think would be it'd be something like another country.
Yeah.
But that's not out of the realm of possibility, because this is a real thing that politicians are talking about now. Devin's not totally crazy on this, because we're going to get to it.
Totally crazy either.
Okay, we'll start with this. We'll start with period number 4. Grab your notebooks, folks. We're already late for class. We're way behind here. But
detention,
mandatory overtime.
I might just skip the Kurt Cobain one. Okay. First off, let's get to what Dave's talking about. So I was gonna say for next week we should watch the Age of Disclosure for the documentary, but it's
free?
like
nice.
Is this
no,
free?
It's like $20. So we're not doing it.
$20?
I know. It's supposed to come streaming here soon, but yeah, no, we're not watching it.
What do you spend $20
It's on Amazon only.
for $20.
Yep, to
But
rent
it does help fund their all the money and stuff goes to help their UFO research and
I appreciate
is
that,
this?
but dude, that's too much.
What
We're
is
not going to
this?
do this every week. We can't because we paid this one. We had to pay for it too, which I was like, I should have checked beforehand. But
Yeah.
it's called the Age of Disclosure, and allegedly this guy is in there. And if you guys, I mean, those of you listening, if you have paid attention over the last let's say 4 years. Oh, actually, going back to 2017, was that when the New York Times released the footage?
I believe so. Yeah.
So in 2017, that's when I feel like all this has been acceptable, socially acceptable to talk about, kinda. And I'll say why in a second. This has been the New York Times released the Tic Tac UFO footage. Do you remember what I'm talking about? The Navy had it on radar.
The fighter pilot.
That's
yes.
when
Yep.
Was it Fravor, Colonel Fravor? He went on Joe Rogan. Then Joe Rogan had on who's the other guy? My favorite Joe Rogan podcast.
Jeremy Corbell.
Well, him too, but he was with Jeremy Corbell. The Bob Lazar.
Oh,
Bob Lazar. So all this stuff, it just feels like it's been talked about over and over again. There's a lot of people that say there are government plants that are talking about this stuff on purpose to desensitize the public to it.
yeah.
And we're way past that because at this point, we're at the point now, and I'll guarantee you that people are gonna be watching and be like, this is more bread and circus. Aliens don't matter. And whenever I see that, I'm like, dude, why? This is interesting. And not to mention, here's what the story is. Congressman Tim Burchett says aliens could be stationed in 5 or 6 underwater bases off the U.S. coast. This is a sitting U.S. congressman, you guys.
Yeah.
This is not some freaking tinfoil hat backdoor under the underground podcast. This is a sitting U.S. congressman.
He's a
saying
pretty
this.
legit guy too.
Yes. So, and this is that Age of Disclosure. Actually, Marco Rubio is in the documentary. There are some very high-level government officials in this documentary talking about, like, yeah, we know that most of what we see, most of these things are our own technology that the public doesn't know about. It's private companies like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, these companies that have a ton of money, and they have these. They've been working on reverse engineering these things that we've allegedly found, like over the last 100 years.
Yep.
And the United States, other countries have programs like this. Something just got released about Russia's program.
Dude, Russia has a lot. Apparently there was a big base underneath the Siberian tundra, and they still haven't recovered all of it.
And they've recovered, yeah. So that's what okay, so this is what Tim Burchett said before we talk more. He says, I think there's a cover-up. There are tens of millions of dollars that we've spent investigating these things. We've had departments tell us that they have recovered units, but they won't release full reports. Everything's covered up. And part of this, according to the documentary, is that these are all, a lot of this stuff is with private companies. So like Lockheed Martin, they don't have to disclose this stuff. A lot of this isn't government stuff. In the summer of 2023, following a series of hearings during which multiple whistleblowers alleged the government hid information from ultra-high-tech craft of foreign or extraterrestrial origin, Burchett asked the intelligence community's inspector general to further investigate the claims. When they tell me there's something moving at hundreds of miles an hour underwater and our capabilities and all these things, I was large as a football field underwater. That's what they said. This thing was as large as a football field underwater, moving hundreds of miles per hour. And they allegedly have it on video. They have it on video that all these congressmen have allegedly seen. It's not out to the public, so we have to take their word for it, I guess. But he said, this is a documented case, and I have an admiral telling me this stuff. So we have government officials saying this stuff. Like, hey, we saw this thing. It's as big as a football field. It's flying underwater at the speed of our planes, and nothing that we have can move this fast.
So why?
And we're not supposed to care about it.
Why are we hiding it?
Well, that's a great question. Why are we hiding it? Why are we hiding it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why are we hiding it? I think that if this is true, and I do think it's true, I mean, why would a U.S. congressman lie to us? Like I said, Marco Rubio, he's like Trump's right-hand man right now. What is he, the Secretary of State? He is saying this stuff too. But if they have this technology, let's say it's a private company that has it. If they've reverse engineered something, or they just invented, let's say they just invented, let's say there's no extraterrestrial stuff. They just invented this crazy technology that can move without the propulsion of gas or diesel or jet fuel, right? That's world changing. If I'm that company, and not me personally, but that company is probably going to figure out how to monetize that. And this would be like earth shattering. We wouldn't need cars. We wouldn't need planes. If it can be propelled without any of that, I mean, this would like destroy markets. It would destroy markets and also build new ones that would change the world for the better. But if I'm that company, they're probably figuring out, how do I mass produce this? How do I make money off of this? That's what I think. That's why I think it's not. That's exactly why I think it's not coming out. And the other part too, and this is probably more plausible, is maybe they're trying to figure out what to do with it so places like China and Russia don't get it first.
Yes.
Right.
And so if we lose that battle, and that's an honest, like a real concern. What if China has the ability to travel across the world in a plane in 2 minutes and drop a nuke and boom, and it would change things drastically. So the power dynamic of the world.
I don't go down this rabbit hole that often, but there's a conspiracy or something on Truman, like met with some aliens or angels or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Eisenhower.
was it Eisenhower? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think there's multiple presidents that have
And,
allegedly met with these things.
They like had a choice over like technology that could control the world or technology that would create peace for the world.
I have no idea about that.
Or it would protect the United States. One would protect the United States and one would bring peace, but the United States would still be sitting there, open to whatever. And they chose, give us the technology. We'll make those decisions. The United States will. But I don't know. It seems like a weird thing. I just keep hearing things. It's weird how you just keep hearing and keep hearing and keep hearing and keep hearing. And
so, okay. So on that and on just this in general and keep hearing stuff, there's speculation that Trump is going to make an announcement within his presidency about aliens, confirming that this is actually real. And if I'm Trump, the guy's got a huge ego, right? Everyone knows that, whether you like him or not. He has a big ego. He wants to be remembered. He cares about his legacy. Why would you not want to be that president that discloses that? If you're the president that comes out and says that and reveals it to the world, like you're already in history forever, but you're literally the guy that disclosed it. That's a big deal.
And not too long ago too, what was it? The Bank of England prepare for alien invasion and type for us to prepare the markets for extreme crash, bank runs, and all this other stuff. This wasn't that long ago. This was like 2-3 months ago.
Yep. This is from Diva's January 24th. Bank of England warned to have planned for inevitable financial chaos if alien existence is confirmed.
Yeah. And like
this is from the New York Post, by the way.
And well, really, what I think too is
this is a month ago, dude. This is so bizarre. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
No, dude. I think we already know it's here. Like I think we've known for a while because then also the discovery of the pyramids, the Great Pyramids, and the chambers that are underneath the Great Pyramids. Everyone thought they were reactors, but the guy was on Joe Rogan talking about how it really wasn't reactors. It was a way for almost what it sounded like is like a being or some sort would go into these chambers. And then the vibration naturally that would come into the Great Pyramid would send such a frequency and put these people in like an outer body experience. Dude, just wild. Like there's so much stuff, but
we'll have to go on that one next time.
I just saw something.
I
know, and I had just seen something that got released. They talked about the pyramids it's not the construction. The bigger story they said it's the deconstruction because they're actually left over. They were deconstructed. Have you heard anything about that?
I saw a headline, but I didn't read into it.
Okay. I just I glanced at it and
maybe we'll have to do that one too.
Yeah.
Because I love the pyramid stuff.
So
dude, every time I get with you guys, man, like this shit blows my head. I'm like, what's going on around here?
And it's fun to talk about, but it's also like, this isn't crazy talk anymore. That's the part to me that you have these very high, powerful people saying this stuff, and you still have the reaction online is visceral to this from most people. Like I would say 90% of people roll their eyes at this and like, that doesn't matter. Like this literally doesn't matter, dude. Did you see the Epstein files, dude? Yes. I care about everything. Like there's a lot. I care about multiple things.
I'll tell you.
Like why? If this is real, this should be a big deal for everyone.
I got to go back to what you said to break all this open. I met with someone very close to the Trumps. I had dinner with a long night dinner with them, and they said that lizard people exist.
Dude,
is this who I think you're talking about?
Yes. But I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Hold on. Here's what I'll say about that.
Yeah.
That guy seems a little crazy.
He is a little crazy, but I mean, like, why is he connected to this group? Like, why is he so close to the freaking, you know what I mean, that campaign? Why is he saying that? I mean, like, the message, I don't want to go through that right now, but.
We should do that in the future. Actually, probably shouldn't talk about this now, but I would love to get Dylan on at some point, and I feel like that's a conversation for that time because that was like an insane journey for all of us.
Yeah.
Like seriously, that was a crazy story that we all went through there, and if he was willing to tell the story, especially from his perspective, because dude, he was massive.
I think
Dude, more engagement than Trump.
I know.
One of my favorite stories about him is when he yelled at Charlie Kirk for stealing his tweets.
Yeah, right when we first met him.
Yeah. And Charlie Kirk's like, they're good. I don't know. He's like,
we'll
stealing my tweets?
save that. We'll save that for when if and when he comes on, because that's part of the story too, right? I mean,
one more thing on the aliens though. It's because I know you've heard the theory of this. Is because you said the lizard people are real.
Right.
Is that's the theory? Is like so you have the Greys that are the good people or the good aliens. You got the Dracos, but this is the 1984 part of it. Why would we even fight each other if there's other extraterrestrial beings? What are we doing fighting Russia and China?
Right.
All this other stuff.
Right. If we have a common enemy.
Yeah.
Maybe there's incentive for them to not want that. I don't know. I mean,
but maybe the news. Maybe we're just fed all this BS just to distract us. So.
Family bloodlines, man, like biblical bloodlines and Satan. And I think it's, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, like just go back to the Bible.
I say that every time. Yep. Every time it gets too off course, I'm like, let's go back to that. Seriously.
Yeah, it's all mapped out.
It's literally all that matters at the end of the day. So, all right, real quickly, let's do the Kurt Cobain thing. But so we did we watch the documentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the documentary called?
I can't remember, but it was just rehashing the death of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, and it seems like this is super, super viral when this came out a couple days ago. But they have now an independent investigator, so I think that's important. And the actual police unit there still says this is wrong. They're like, no, it still stays the same, even though... And it seems like he kind of just rehashed the old stuff, but... This independent investigator says that Kurt Cobain's death was a homicide, as shocking new private forensic findings question the original ruling. And we got to be careful how we say this because YouTube does not allow you to say that word. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just YouTube, but everyone knows how the official narrative of Kurt Cobain. Let's leave it at that. So here are some of the things that this has been a conspiracy for a long time, and there's some valid concerns here. For example, some of the things people have questioned in his death are his toxicology report that estimated that there was about 1.5 milligrams of morphine from heroin in Cobain's bloodstream. Some people argue that the amount would have incapacitated him immediately, making it hard for him to A, put away drug paraphernalia, which he did at the scene, load and fire the gun, and write a note. So if he took it and then did all that, it just doesn't seem possible. That's probably the biggest thing.
Well, and the only thing you could have did out of that is probably write the note beforehand. Yeah. Everything else you would have had to do after.
Yep. Well, and then so there's a suspicion on the note too. The handwriting analysts hired by private investigators claimed parts of the note, especially the end, looked different than the rest of the note. Some say most of the note reads like a retirement letter to fans, not the other kind of note. And the final lines directly referencing his death appear stylistically different. So it sounds like maybe he wrote a letter for retirement and then someone maybe added to it. That's what the conspiracy people say.
Weren't they getting a divorce too?
I believe so.
I think so too. I
believe
think they were
so.
getting a divorce.
They were not in a good spot in their relationship, that's for sure. Let's see, there are two more things. Reports say no identifiable fingerprints were found on the gun, and then some see the suspicion of him firing it himself, which it does seem pretty hard to do. And allegedly there was more than one shot, which is another weird thing. And then there's a rumor, this is just a rumor allegedly, credit card usage after his death.
I heard that.
Some conspiracy discussions claim Kurt Cobain's credit card was used after his death. And I feel like that's explainable in that, like, well, if someone else could have used it, doesn't mean he used it.
Right.
But that reminds me of the Doug Stanhope joke. You guys remember that?
Yeah. That one's gold.
I know God's real because how after my mom died would she have spent $20,000 on Sky Mall with her credit card 3 days after she died? That guy's amazing, by the way. But very dark humor. So, anyways, I don't even think that was a joke of his, though. I think
he probably did it.
Well, he says in his joke, I had to wait 2 years past the statute of limitations for credit card fraud to tell that joke. Sorry, I shouldn't tell other people's jokes, but Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, you give him credit.
So anyways, that's the story here. And then now an unofficial private sector team of forensic scientists has put fresh eyes on the Cobain's autopsy and crime scene materials. Blah, blah, blah. He previously worked on cases involving overdoses followed by gunshot trauma. Independent researcher Michelle Wilkins, who worked with the team, told the Daily Mail that after just 3 days looking into the evidence with fresh eyes, Burnett said, "This is a homicide. We've got to do something about this." She said the conclusion followed an exhaustive review of the autopsy findings, which revealed signs inconsistent with what happened. So that's the big story there. There's and I forgot to say this class period is conspiracy class. Class period number 4, conspiracy class. This is what you're learning at Zed University, folks. Zeducation University. Occasionally we will have conspiracy class. You guys need to know this. You need to know what's going on, what the people are talking about. So that's why we had to bring these 2 stories up today. Anything else on the Kurt Cobain stuff? Do you guys think it was?
It was her. It was his wife.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even
For cash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you
No.
think she might have hired someone? Well, that was
Yeah,
sorry. That was
yeah.
another thing I saw though. Is there was this rumor that he had
Could be.
like $20 million when he really, I shouldn't say only, but he only had like $1.5 million. So it
That's-
wasn't like an astronomical amount of money that she could live on forever. And most people could, but not her lifestyle. I mean, she's a rock star going to parties and stuff. Like she probably spends that in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about all his residual money from all the music played?
Royalties?
Yeah, all the royalties.
Oh, I'm
You
sure
think
that's
that would
the
be
thing, yeah.
keep pumping, and then you get
Yeah.
rid of him out of the equation. He's not spending the money, only you are.
Musicians don't make money, dude. They're owned by someone else, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like
There's
Shaq.
actually a lot of truth to that.
Shaq made all of his money in college, dude.
Dude, you know what? I used to think Prince was the biggest douchebag. And then I heard the story of how the record company took his name and wouldn't let him use it.
Yep.
And then finally he was like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to make a symbol. And after that, I'm like, oh my God, dude, the guy was freaking like, F you guys.
Yep.
I'm doing it's
And Michael Jackson kind of
amazing.
did the same thing, I believe.
really.
I don't know if he did. I know maybe he did.
Not necessarily the Prince way of making a symbol and stuff, but
Right.
his like final couple of records he had to do for the company were just, these are old songs that I wrote for other albums, and
This is your Michael Jackson.
yeah,
You're ignorant. You're ignorant.
yeah,
Well, that reminds. Okay, so I saw another conspiracy on this. Is that there's like only a handful of people that control most artists in the music industry,
oh yeah,
and they own music catalogs. I mean, the whole Taylor Swift thing, she went through that. Kanye West. So the conspiracy is that Kanye West, and I don't think this is true, but he acts the way he does the things he does. Remember last year Super Bowl?
Yep.
He did that like selfie commercial, and
And
it led to a website with a swastika T-shirt. That's all
that's
that
all
he was selling,
But
Yeah.
dude, a couple days before he had way more stuff, so he took everything down
and just had that.
yeah.
But the conspiracy is he did that on purpose to ruin his public image, so these people that control him and own his music can't make money off him anymore.
Yep.
That's the conspiracy. I don't know. I think
I
he
know, I
actually does
agree with
have.
that for him.
I think he does have mental health issues for sure. But
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely partially for real. Because what's that? Is it Paul Rubin? Dave Rubin?
yeah, well,
or,
he's just a producer.
Yeah, but he's never played an instrument. He's never.
Have you seen the documentary on him though? It's pretty fascinating.
He is a fascinating guy, but for a guy that has never played an instrument, can't run the board, can't really do much. It's like, well, what is there's more to it there than I know what you're thinking right now, and it's not that. It has nothing to do with that.
We're moving on.
I just got in an argument the other day with my wife because I've been doing AI music, making songs with AI. And I'm like, because she's like, that's not music. And I'm like, really? Because you sound like the person back in like the 50s when the electric guitar came out and then everyone was making fun of them. Well, using, it's like, it's not an instrument. The electric guitar isn't, and it just kept moving forward. And then all of a sudden, then you have the boards and the boards aren't music, right? Now we're using AI and we're driving the AI. So
It's
is it
not music. No, absolutely not. Well, no, there's no soul in it, dude.
I don't know.
You go
That's-
to real music and
Yeah.
like I'm talking like 1990s and earlier where they're actually
Yeah.
writing music. I mean, there's emotion and experience attached to the lyrics and the guitars and going back to my favorite story on that is
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
I knew you were going to say that.
He was on Joe Rogan and he's talking about, he's like, yeah, our tambourine broke or whatever his instrument was.
Right.
And in one of the most popular songs, there's like a rattle in the
Is it like a
beginning.
water bottle or something?
It was like a salt shaker.
Salt shaker, that's
It was a
right.
salt packet.
Yeah.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of that song, and to have that just generated by some soundboard, which is most music is.
Listen, I get it. I get the vintage feel to it. I mean, you don't have to sell it to me. But I'm just questioning, like, what was, I mean, I like, one of the stories I like is the Beatles. One of the records, they found this like stairwell that they had to go into, and they drummed out all the beats for the record because it had this weird sound when they recorded it. It's like these people like would find these crazy spots to make this sound.
Yeah,
which is amazing, right?
Yeah,
but I don't know. It just
they took a bunch of acid. They saw the interdimensional Clockwork Elves, and the Clockwork Elves gave them Strawberry Fields Forever, and that was it, man. They were big, big time.
Paul McCarthy, favorite story, real quick. Paul McCarthy story. He said they were practicing somewhere over in wherever the hell they're from, England, Europe, and someone knocks on the door while they're practicing. The guy opens up the door, Paul McCarthy does, and he's like, "Who are you?" And the guy's like, "I'm Jesus." And he's like, "You're Jesus?" He's like, "Yeah. Can I come in and listen to you guys practice?" And he looked and he's like, "Yeah, come on in." And he's like, and they're like, "Who's this?" And like, "It's Jesus." And he's like, "I didn't want to say no to Jesus in case it really was Jesus."
Remember
awesome.
when you died? And yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then said, "Paul is dead." You weren't really dead. No, Chris, I wasn't really dead.
I've seen a lot of Chris Farley stuff hit the timeline. It goes in waves.
Jeez, so stupid. It's okay, Chris. All right, let's move on here. We got a couple more stories to talk about. We're gonna move on to our 5th period class with Daniel. Daniel had some information, and you didn't give me too much on this, so I'm interested to see what you went through. And then on the 6th period, we're going to get to Professor Dave, and Dave's got another fun conspiracy for you. I'm actually super pumped about this one, dude.
Gnomes.
Yep, the gnomes, the garden gnomes.
All right.
I thought that was just a meme, but it's real. So anyways, go ahead, Daniel.
I feel like we should have the Olympics.
Hold on. We can't. This is one thing I hate about
me having the music.
No, I know. Oh. But the Olympics is the biggest stickler for copyright, and it drives me insane. You can't play anything. You cannot play any clip with no sound, nothing. So,
Banned.
All right, so I'm going to go into what I kind of went down a rabbit hole. This wasn't even for the show. This was just me, myself, going down a rabbit hole. I had read a report that the Olympic medals are falling apart. Did you guys see anything about that?
What?
I did,
Yeah, they're falling apart. So the Olympics, they released a note to all the Olympians, don't jump while you're wearing the ribbon, because they can break. So
like fall off the ribbon?
The fall off the break off the ribbon.
Okay.
Like the medal itself will break.
Got
right? And this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, so the last one in London where they had a piece of the Eiffel Tower, they're corroding like super fast now, and yeah, and they had another one I think in Singapore that they were falling apart. And,
is it zinc? Or what's the center of it?
The center of the gold ones right now, they're still mostly silver. They're actually still mostly silver.
Even the gold ones?
But,
okay.
Yeah, even the gold ones, yep.
What?
Even the gold ones are, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
But the copper ones are a big mixture of all other kinds of stuff. And the London ones, if you're speaking of that one, they did have a whole bunch of different metals for the London one because they were trying to do recycled metals. So it was really dirty metal. Yep. And that's where they're blaming that they used it because of the recycled metals is the reason that this
all corroded.
that happened in London. But anyways, it's crazy because you think these athletes, they devote their whole lives to get this. This is the pinnacle of athlete medals, right?
Yeah.
Like individual medals, especially. The gold medal is, and these guys, they're getting like this crummy ass breaking down medal, which is nuts to me. And I'm thinking, why can't they like give them just a real gold medal? Like why isn't it actual gold? What's the reason? And they actually did. I think until 1914, they actually got a real gold medal.
Full gold medal.
Yeah, in the Olympics. Yeah, and then
that's where the bite came from.
The bite originally did. Yeah, from the Roman times, they would bite it to make sure that it was gold. Yeah, because if he had teeth marks, if you actually could see the teeth marks, then you knew it was lead. But if it didn't have teeth marks and it was just a small bite marks, then you knew it was gold. That's a little side note on that. But I started going, so I was like, well, what did the Olympics make off of this? So the money that they made was $5.3 billion went to Italy for hosting the Olympics. The Olympics itself is a nonprofit. They take $75 million from it. NBC gets $1.6 billion for this whole thing, right? The value of these Olympic gold medals today for the gold one is $2,400.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So it's $2,400, and they're at an all-time weight right now. They weigh about a pound, right? This is me going on the hole. So I was like, well, what would happen if we wanted to make a 10 karat gold, which you typically see like Tracks NYC. I don't know if you've ever seen that channel. Have you seen that? Where they make all the stuff for like the rappers and stuff like that, all that custom jewelry and stuff like that. They normally use 10 karat gold when they're machining that stuff out. So I was like, well, what would that cost? So there's 245 gold medals that are produced. That would be roughly $7.4 million if you gave each one of the contestants, that's every gold medal that's given out, an actual real gold medal. So think about that. They're getting billions of dollars. I mean, over $7 billion. And they can't even spend $7 million to give them the real medals, the Olympic athletes.
Wow.
So then I was like, well, maybe they get compensated pretty good. Well, an athlete actually doesn't even make money, right? They don't pay them any money. They have to fill out if they want support from the Olympics. Sometimes they can qualify through grants, blah, 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 but it's pretty rare. If you win a gold, though, you do get $37,500. If you win a silver, you get $22,000. And if you win a bronze, you get $15,000. So that's the payments that these athletes get from the Olympics. Now, what's also interesting is in America, there's a guy, his name is Ross Stevens. He's a hedge fund guy, and he now is giving out $200,000 to every person that participates that's in the United States.
Really?
Yep, to each athlete.
That's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. But there's a catch. They get their first $100,000 at the age of 45, or they have to be, or it has to be 25 or 20 years after they competed, right? So there's a minimum of 20 years. Okay. Yes.
That's weird.
On that, the second piece. So to qualify for the second $100,000, you have to die. And that second $100,000 goes to your beneficiary on that.
What?
Yes. Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
That's a thing that's happening
guys,
right now.
I'm going to be super generous, but by the time you guys get this money, it's going to actually be worth probably a third after inflation. And then the other part, you're gonna have to die to get it.
So
what a prick.
So then I started looking, I'm like, well, does anyone make any money? I mean, like I was looking in sponsors and that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's other countries pay their athletes.
Yeah.
So Serbia pays their athletes $226,000.
Whoa.
Malaysia, $236,000. Israel, $275,000. Indonesia pays $346,000. Thailand pays $365,000 to their athletes. Taiwan, $720,000. Singapore, $787,000. And Hong Kong pays $769,000.
Wow.
Well, that's did we did the documentary last time. It was because it was like Michael Phelps, and it was like the rise and fall of an Olympic athlete and how your whole life is this moment. And because we never watched like the in between the World Cup or the World Finals or whatever that happen every year, but Michael Phelps talks about the loneliness and the emptiness after you retire.
Yeah.
And it was insane, dude. It was a really good documentary.
Yeah, that's you're losing your purpose. What are you living for now? Because these Olympic athletes, like Michael Phelps, that's what his life revolved around.
And
it was. I mean,
no, I'm laughing because I have a Michael Phelps. I have a Michael Phelps baseball card.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever tell you about that?
Yeah.
It's a game used one, right? Like it has a piece of memorabilia in it, game used.
See, dude.
But wait a minute. What does he wear? He wears like a little Speedo.
Yeah.
So I have a little piece of his Speedo.
Dude, so
piece of his underwear.
Dude, check this out. On that idea, I think you could, because what is it, 1 of 200?
Yeah, something like that.
So if you collected all of them, I think you could prove it's a scam industry.
Oh, it totally is.
Because
is.
You would never be able to take 200 pieces of that little cloth in to make a Speedo, and then let alone it be the real fabric. And if it was, you could test it for the salt content inside that Speedo, or the chlorine and stuff. But
interesting.
Dude, well, so in America though, they talked about too the amount of endorsement money you get. So when you get gold, you make out pretty good here in the States. But if you get silver, dude, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Because there was a skier that was talking about it.
Well, so before we move on that, what'd you say, $2,400?
That's what they run right now.
What are the gold medals?
The gold medals do. Yeah.
So to put more into perspective on that, it's not even all that value is not in gold. So it's 6 grams of pure gold and 500 grams of silver. So that $2,400 is mostly silver. It's over half silver. What a scam. Honestly, I feel bad for the athletes. It really is. It's just a big money laundering thing.
It just has.
I shouldn't say laundering, but a big money grab.
And
Because they're the ones getting screwed.
Yep, and then they're falling apart on top of it.
Yeah, but I will say though, if I were an Olympic athlete winning any medal, I wouldn't care. You're etched in history as one of the greatest athletes ever. So, we could talk more about the Olympics, and I'm sure we will next week because the Olympics are not over. The girls' hockey team looks unbelievable. They look like the Soviet Union. I mean, they're just unbeatable.
Dude.
They look so good. Canada hockey, unbelievable.
Yeah.
A couple of athletes saying really dumb things that they're like basically not proud to be representing America. It's like, okay, then don't compete, you jackass. Like, be appreciative.
Have you guys paid attention to penis gate? That's a thing in the
explain
Olympics
that.
right now.
Explain that real quick, and then we got to move on.
So guys are injecting their penises with lip filler that girls put in their lips that are downhill skiers that do the jumps. They're doing that so that they get a bigger suit, and that bigger suit gives them like an extra like 10 yards or something like that.
Are you kidding me?
No,
That's wild. Actually,
yeah.
I did not hear that.
It creates more of a flying. But they need so they're injecting it so that they're forced to get this bigger suit. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
But I'm not surprised because at that level, my wife and I were just talking about cyclists and how Lance Armstrong, he would run his heartbeat up to like 220 while he was riding. And he'd do it for hours straight, which is insane. And I'm like, I don't even care if he doped up because all of them were doping up. Right. That guy was literally on another level among doped up athletes. Same with Barry Bonds. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah.
So, but my point is when you get into these niche sports, they do anything for an advantage. So I'm not surprised. That's next level nutso. But
that is nuts.
Yeah. We got to move on though. It's Deve's turn to take
intended.
over here.
No pun intended.
Deve. We got 2 more segments here. We got Professor Deve covering the garden gnomes here.
It's going to be a quick one, you guys. I wish I could find some valid deep dive in evidence, but
tell us the conspiracy first, and give us your evidence and what you think.
Okay, so conspiracy is that garden gnomes are real, and it kind of generates back into roughly 1500 AD. We're not going BC here, but over in England, in the big, huge houses, like the big manors and stuff, they would have, to keep their gardens, they would hire gnomes, or like, I can't remember their actual name, but they kind of look like wizards is what they would say. And they worked on these ridiculous contracts.
When you say they would hire them, what do you mean? What was a gnome? Like an actual person?
An actual person.
Okay. So it wasn't like what grandma has, the little gnome sitting in the
no. They're like hermits. I can't remember the real term. Like hermits, gnomes, it kind of turned into gnomes. And they get these like 7, 10 year, 12 year, 15 year contracts, and they wouldn't get paid till the end.
What?
So, and their job is to take care of the garden and to run out rabbits, run out all this other stuff, and they would set up these like witch style homes, like living in a teepee, living in the back of these like huge mansions, and here they are living off the grid, looking like a wizard in the middle of a forest. That's kind of how it started, and a lot of them would leave because after 4 years, dude, I'm not staying here. Like, I've been here, you barely eat, you don't make money, you know, everyone's got some hobbies outside of living in a garden. So then it kind of
they were slaves, pretty much.
Yes, voluntary.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they could leave.
It's everyone today.
And then kind of fast forward a little bit to the 1800s. For some reason, it went down to like Chile, Argentina, and then the Nordic countries all somehow like gravitated towards this gnome that they would see like out in their house. I'll show you some videos.
What? So wait, like a little thing, like a little statue? Is that what we're talking about now? Or I'm getting confused.
Okay, so the statues come from, they're little because how they come from that is they have the hats because of the old guys that they all used to wear like wizard hats and stuff. That's just kind of how it was. That's how they got the outfit that they wear, but then they're a little bit of just like capturing, I think, a group of people, but then you get some conspiracy people that say, no, they're real. Haven't you ever seen them run through your garden? And then part of it was, as a little, this is what like the wet nurse would tell the little kids to scare them to stay away from the woods, was like,
the garden gnomes will get you.
Yep. And if if you stand too close, you can see their eyes pop out of the bushes.
Maybe they were like little people, like dwarves, right?
Well,
like, I mean, because what do they do for work? Maybe they had
Back in the day?
Hey, look, you don't have to bend over very far to do gardening.
Well, that's what I thought too, but they're pretty small.
That does, yeah, it makes sense. I see what you're saying. But continue. Show us the video.
All right.
So there's video. There's allegedly video of these gnomes running around.
Yeah, and like, cause I went on, dude. I read stories. I sent you a few of the videos, but
I don't think I saw them.
I'll try and send the history one over.
Send that to me. Yeah.
All right.
Gnomes
okay.
are real, dude. Okay, hopefully they're real.
I have it muted, so I'll try and speed it up here.
So this is allegedly footage of real life garden gnomes.
Five gnomes caught on tape.
Okay. Number 5.
Someone got on there. It's gonna be blurry. Here it is.
So,
oh my god.
and dude, it's like videos.
Oh.
Go back.
It's like, dude.
Oh.
The leprechaun. That's the leprechaun guy.
Oh.
Dude, that's us when we were kids making stuff.
It's like, dude, it's like 144p.
No.
What is he doing? Look at how he's walked. So, like how he walks.
All right, let's move on. Dude.
All right, this one is actually kind of wild.
Dude, he's got that same wobble.
Is this a gnome?
You'll see right back here.
Wait, what?
This little thing just.
Oh my god!
Running.
Stop. That was, dude. There's
Wait,
fish in
what?
line on that. There's fish in line on that.
But look at his feet. Look at his feet. Look at his feet.
It just
Maybe
like,
there are fish.
Dude, it looks like a rag doll that kind of, like you said, just got pulled up.
It's like Woody.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I only have 5, so it'll be pretty quick. Oh yeah, dude, this one is really dumb, so I'm gonna fast forward.
Oh, we gotta see it.
Yeah. What
All
the
right,
heck?
all right.
Like, it was in his trunk.
Okay.
That was the best one in so far.
All right, move on.
Oh, you guys will like this one. All right, this
All right,
one.
let's see it. This poor kid.
What happened?
I didn't. That he's pausing.
Oh!
That was like AI before AI happened. You green screened a little thing inside of here.
That's like, what was that movie where was that movie where Joaquin Phoenix where he was like,
Science.
Yeah,
dude.
Science.
Seriously. All right. Last one, and this one I don't know. This one ain't too good either, but
whoa,
comes in Argentina. A lot of them are Argentina. You know, everyone gets the free hand.
what kind?
They saw something right back here. You know, it could have been a dog. Like,
All right.
long story short,
Is it debunked?
yeah.
It's debunked.
Long story short is, it was like just all 144p images, footage, all in Chile. A lot of the videos are down south, so it's like, well,
So kids, if your parents are scaring you with garden gnomes, they're not real. They're just trying to make you obey.
yep.
Dude, that was great. That made me laugh so
I
hard.
believe in mermaids more than I believe in gnomes.
Stop.
What if?
Stop.
What if, like, think about this for a second. Like, what if, like, Noah and them, they were all like super little people, like gnomes, and then because Noah's kids or son-in-laws were bred from the Nephilim or the giants.
Okay.
And then what if they made that height where we're at today now, and there's still a couple of purebreds running around, and now they're gnomes.
Have you ever seen Austin Powers? Could be brothers, you know.
Could be brothers.
Mini-me.
I'm pretty open to all conspiracies,
Right?
but this one was shut the door.
Oh,
No.
I love this. But here's the problem with this,
people on
dude.
board with it though.
That's it. There's people that believe this.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Is like, oh guys, come on, let's
Well, you're going gnomes. You didn't even say fairies because fairies are a thing. Like, we personally know people that believe in fairies.
really.
Yeah.
You personally know people that believe in fairies.
Okay.
It was a wife of a gentleman that owns a retail store in this town. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll tell you after.
Yeah, we'll tell you
But,
afterwards,
dude, see, like some of them, I just can't, like, I don't know. Some of them are just like, how do you get to that point? I mean, you know, at least mermaids, you kind of find some things out there. The ocean, only 13% of it's really been discovered. So I can believe in it. There's some unknown in there that goes, yeah. But you were talking about land creatures that look like humans. Dude, they would sell those at like a little corner store gift shop, on your way to Duluth. Like, if they were real. I mean, you'd buy them at the pet store.
Dude,
as messed up as that is.
The clues are being given to us. The people that came before us are giving us clues. They're trying to give clues and saying, hey, listen, this happened, and we want to tell people that this happened, but we don't sometimes listen. We just move on. And you know what? I'll tell you, someday it's going to be a dark day. All the electricity is going to be gone. Everything that we've written and we've uploaded onto the internet is going to be gone. Our history of our existence is going to be gone.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's going to be gone. Like, we will not even exist.
No, of course. Yeah, that's going to happen one day.
So there'll be little nuggets, little breadcrumbs.
That's why we got to start messing with the future. We got to start burying metal bones of dogs and animals.
Okay, see, I think about this too.
That'd be funny. That's a great idea. Practical joke for the future, dude.
Well, I think about this too because like I do think that ancient Egypt is a lost civilization, but it's like, think of going up here. I think of the dude that buries, an old car in his backyard, the landfill. It's like, well, you're going to be digging up like all sorts of junk, essentially. Like, we're barely digging up tools and stuff. We're digging up a rock stone that, I don't know. I love that idea, but it's like, if I'm digging up a 67 Mustang 10,000 years from now, what does that mean to you? Is that an animal? Is that, ancient tech? I don't know. I mean,
gnomes aren't real. Fairies aren't real. I just got to say that. Let's move on.
You're killing the mood. Jeez.
Dude, we're tangenting hard today, which is good. This is good, but final words on the gnomes. They're not real.
Very rarely you'll ever hear me say it. But
say it.
Not real.
He said
it. Dude, that was a clip from Toy Story, dude.
It was, but I sat on Reddit. I sat on blogs. I read things like
I did the research myself.
There was nothing that was like, nah, dude. Like, all right, this is all again. A story you tell a kid, the wet nurse tells the kid back in the 1500s to scare him because she was mad she had to pick up the spilt milk.
A wet nurse?
Well,
we're going to move on here. A babysitter.
Oh, okay. That was in the stories. I was in all the stories, so I had to.
I was reading 14th century English literature. You too, Brute. All right, moving on here. 7th period. Last class before the bell rings and people are out of school here. So, and this one we are onto our film studies. So this week we watched Her. And apologies, folks, if you did watch it, you probably either you owned it already or you had to rent it. But moving forward, we'll try to pick stuff that we have that's free or is on some streaming site that most people probably have. So next week, I didn't talk to you guys about this, but we're going to watch the Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich. It's four episodes. I believe it's a little bit over 2 hours total.
On Netflix, right?
Yep. And then there's a Ghislaine Maxwell too, so try to watch that as well. But it's super relevant right now, so I figured we should watch it and talk more about it because there's a lot.
You better block out an hour for that.
Walking the jerky. What?
Nothing.
All right. But anyways, this one's wild too, and I didn't realize it was as wild as this until Daniel brought it up. But first, a quick summary of Her. Her is a movie that came out in 2013. It is with Joaquin Phoenix. I actually can't believe how big the cast was. What is it? Amy Adams was her. Chris Pratt was in it.
Yeah, I can't believe that was crazy.
There's some really, really big people in this movie. And I remember it because, I watched it when it came out and I thought it was unbelievable. But at the time, I was like, dude, this is so far like in the future. This is nuts. This will never happen. It was like, 13 years ago? And then it was also up for a bunch of awards. But this movie is about Joaquin Phoenix essentially falling in love with a chatbot. He's going through a divorce, and he starts chatting to this chatbot who is Scarlett Johansson, and he starts to develop a relationship with this chatbot. And the chatbot, according to the chatbot, is starting to develop feelings with him too. Like I said, at the time, it was like, dude, what? This chatbots don't even exist. iPhones, smartphones were still becoming a thing, and we're literally living that. Megan's uncle, we had lunch with him this summer. He he does stuff with homes, like assisted homes and stuff an assisted living home, pretty much. He was telling us that there is a resident there that all he does is sit on his phone and talk to his chatbot. He is in love with, he is obsessed with, and all he focuses on is his chatbot.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of weird to think about. Like, say you were dying or something like that, and you just kept talking, and something like an AI machine asked you a whole bunch of questions and then analyzed who you were, and then when you died, you're supposed to keep talking to you, asking you questions.
That's the goal.
That's I feel like that's a little demonic.
That's scary. I know. Yeah. I mean, it just popped into my head when we were talking about that.
Yeah. But this is where the part that we haven't got to yet on this is the AI chatbot is continually progressing and getting more evolving and getting smarter and smarter. I don't think we're at that point yet with AI. I think AI is still just a good search engine that can generate photos and videos. I mean,
yeah,
it's not actually intelligent, sentient life, I should say. Yeah. Maybe it is behind the scenes. I bet behind the scenes it's way more advanced than we have in the public. But so yeah, in this movie, it continues to get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter until the end. I don't want to give away the end, but I mean, did you guys like it? Did you guys and did you draw parallels to today? Kind of crazy how, and I want to touch on that too. Kind of crazy how far ahead they were back then with this stuff. How they almost predicted to a T what was coming.
Yeah,
yeah. So the movie itself, if you're watching from from the 30,000 foot view, is probably kind of boring. From 30,000 foot.
It's an artsy movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you start like thinking about 2013, they did this. It starts getting you thinking, and I can't help but start conspiring that they were trying to tell us what's coming.
Yeah.
Right. And they're trying to lead us. And I feel like movies keep doing this. Like they're giving us, guess what's coming in like another 15, 20 years, preparing us, like setting that roadmap out there for us. And then I kept watching it, and I'm like, man, this movie started feeling more and more demonic to me, almost more evil, as I started seeing signs, and I'm sitting there watching it with Janelle, and like the signs just kept popping up on me. And I was like, oh my God, there you go. There's another one. It just kind of, I don't know. It started getting scary. I actually gave some pictures over to Dave that I was like, and I'm not saying that this was what it was, but when I was looking at, did that one just pop up? Wait, hold on.
So I got the actual symbol, and then I have the two.
Do that one first. Okay. Because this is, explain what this is. This is a real symbol.
That's a real symbol.
This was involved in Pizzagate. This is, but it's a real identifiable symbol in the FBI world.
Right.
In the FBI world.
Right. That's a way of pedophilia rings to communicate with each other.
Yes, and so this is not a conspiracy. This is real.
No, this is real.
This is a real thing, a real symbol.
This is not a conspiracy.
So now show the thing that was in the movie.
So the girl that was her earrings.
That blew my mind when I saw that.
Yeah. That was like that
was really weird. Yeah, Leo moment.
Yeah. That
so,
was.
Okay, here's my question, because that is pretty undeniably the same symbol. If that was intentional, and all of this stuff in movies is intentional.
Yes, it is.
And no, it is. I mean, whoever is designing the costumes, all this stuff, they're picking this for a reason.
Right.
So my question to you is, why would they put that in there? Because that wasn't really part of the show. There wasn't a nefarious plot in that show like that.
It's hard to say. I mean, like, you don't know who's communicating or who's. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't understand half the times why these signs are where they, listen, this is. I'm not saying this is what it is.
Yeah, but no, you're just drawing it's a
right. It's like a
weird.
Minute.
Yeah.
That's a weird set of earrings to like throw on someone that looks so similar to something that we already know that Hollywood has a big problem with.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and that's not a conspiracy either. That's a real thing.
Right, and we know that what can I say? Joaquin Phoenix. Thank
JP.
You. Yeah, his brother even had problems with that. River Phoenix, where he ended up.
Oh well, he was allegedly assaulted himself, right?
Yeah, he did. Yes. Yep. But I don't know. I think the whole thing that just was a little bit bizarre.
Dude, that's very bizarre. You showed that to me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was. So then another thing. So there was a couple other ones, and I didn't even take a picture of it. But there was one. Okay, so this was a scene. If you saw this, where this owl came up behind him, right? And when I was watching this, and I didn't say anything. When I was watching it, I was thinking, I was like, he's just the prey in the movie. Like it's kind of an artsy thing. Like. Maybe he's the prey.
So the owl is swooping down on him.
Right, and the AI is actually using him instead of us using AI. kind of thing.
Yes, and that's
right?
kind of how a message I took.
That's
Yeah.
why I took it. Now, my wife took it. She was like, she started saying she was like, oh my God, that's like Bohemian Grove. Like a symbol for that. And I'm like, what are you talking
owl.
about?
The owl,
Yeah. And I'm like, what? And she's like,
Moloch, right?
but
Moloch?
at this point, and we're not going to put a couple of these other pictures up here. There was some weird demonic stuff in there. Remember, there was one scene where the AI draws a picture with the armpit.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not, again, it's an adult thing. I don't even want to talk about what it was, but it was very demonic looking to me. It didn't feel like it even it didn't need to be in that movie, like to make that movie. It felt very evil to me.
Yeah.
It just was out of context.
Maybe that's the message. Maybe, and this is what I think, because remember we talked about at church like a year ago now, the Book of Revelation, when they kept talking about the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I was like, it's AI. It's in my head. But I was like, and in my opinion, I feel like technology has been a net negative in our lives. And I feel like for him, it was a deception. It was this fake thing but it was able to manipulate him into feeling real emotions. When in reality, he had people in his life, and it kind of comes full circle at the end where he writes that letter to his ex-wife, where it was like, oh man, like that was a very, very heartfelt and meaningful letter.
Yeah.
And he's kind of finally over this hard stage of his life. He had his friend, Amy Adams, that he had this relationship with that, could have been much more if he was not so tuned into his AI chatbot, and herself too. She was in love with her chatbot too. So maybe that was the message. Maybe the message is it's evil. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Another thing too, that because all of a sudden we got hung on signs. Multiple people in the movie were doing this. Right, and that's another weird sign. Like that's that's the Illuminati sign.
Yeah. Well, I think speaking on this, so dude, we just the conspiracies today.
Dude, we are going hard today.
Yeah, I know we are.
So
it's out of control.
Yeah, it is out
of control.
I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about the Luciferianism, Satanism, all this other somewhat ism, but Luciferianism is the big one that is like part of the Hollywood lifestyle and everything, and part of their lifestyle. And if you believe that, not saying they do believe that, but anyone that does believe in that, you have to project your own beliefs out there. And that's part of believing in what Luciferianism is. And they are different between the two. People in the comments can tell us what the difference is, but I'll save that for that.
This is why I'm actually okay with this conversation, because this is relevant in the Epstein file stuff.
Yeah.
This is not, what is coming out in those files is absolutely insane. And it pertains to a lot of this stuff.
They talk about it in there.
They talk about it openly in their emails.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, maybe this stuff really does exist, and maybe that we should take it a little bit more seriously. And this is nothing new. I was blown away, and let me pull this up here quick. There was a book, I think it's one of the last books. Let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. By Mark Twain. Mysterious Stranger. Mark.
We got a old JC sitting up over your shoulder right now. I love that.
Okay.
See that? Did you see that? Okay, flip back over to D. To Tyler. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay, so Mark Twain, probably one of the most famous American novelists of all time, if not the most famous. He, I believe, was very, very integral in starting Bohemian Grove. Yep. I think that's kind of what it started as.
It was like his land.
It was Mark Twain's land?
I believe so, yes.
Is that in California, isn't it?
Northern, yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So Mark Twain, I'm trying to think, what was Huck and Finn, right? Huckleberry Finn.
Yep.
So he wrote a book, and he died before he was able to finish it, or maybe he finished it and it was published after he died in 1916. But so here it is: Mark Twain's final unfinished novel, published in 1916 after he died. It explored dark themes of morality, religion, and reality through a supernatural being named Satan, who interacts with three boys in the 16th century Austria. So the protagonist, the main character of the story was Satan. This is Mark Twain, the guy that we learn about in school.
The American author.
The all-American author, the guy that helped start Bohemian Grove. My point is that what you're talking about has been a thing in American culture and throughout the world for a very long time, going back to ancient cultures.
Yeah.
So this is not a real thing. So when it comes to like the bread and circus and the reality of the world, good and evil. I think that's what people are numb to. I think people are blinded to the fact that there are real people and people of high places of power that worship this stuff, that are into this stuff. This is not a secret. He wrote about it, dude. He wrote this book. I remember I bought the book to read. I was like, there's no way. An old friend, when I was super into reading and learning about these old authors, he's like, you got to read his last book. You won't even believe it. I was like, what are you talking about? He wrote a book with the protagonist as Satan. I was like, that's not even true. There's no way. There's no way. And dude, it's true. So it's like, holy dude.
No, and it's wild that they specifically kind of say, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of religions. You do want to share what you believe in, but the way they have to portray it out into their plan of, or not really their plan, but the future of AI in this movie, they had to put it out there because right now you can download something on your phone that's called like AI and Myself. It's your AI twin, and you can answer all these questions, talk to it long enough, and it reads you like your person. So when you have a problem and you want to learn how to react as yourself, like how would I normally react and how should I react? And it'll tell you, normally you're going to react like this, and this. I've never played with it. I've just seen testimonies, but you know, like that is the scary part, is because I see even before this, we had weird things of people marrying their car, marrying a freaking roller coaster. Now it's like already our homes are little bunkers of safety of like, dude, I've made my own little domain here. Like it's everything I wanted in my own house. And now you give yourself a friend that is going to agree with you on everything. You're never wrong. And even if you are wrong, it's probably going to be the nicest way ever to tell you that you're wrong.
Well, you know what's scary about that? There was a guy that testified in front of Congress about how, and this has happened multiple times. There's multiple stories about this where it's not necessarily a friend. There was a guy that testified in Congress, and I got to be careful what I say because again, YouTube doesn't allow this. But the AI chatbot told the kid that your family is not going to miss you. Your family is they're going to be better without you.
Yeah,
and told him how to do it.
Oh my gosh!
And yes, this is all documented. Coached him how to do it all, and he did it horrifically. So
wait, tell me what country?
United States, dude. The parent testified in front of Congress,
and this has happened more than this. Is just not one odd thing. Like it's happened many times,
multiple times. So that's where it's like knowing. It's hard enough to know your kids online, but to like make sure they're not getting into stuff like this. But so I don't. Yeah, I think it's bad. I really do. I think it's evil. As far as her goes, it's very weird how on top of this they were.
To lighten it up a little bit. The movie was actually originally recorded by Samantha. I think it was Morton. Something like that. Anyways, she was right there on the set for the whole thing, like doing the speak back. And what was his name? Spike Jonze, the director. He, at the end of it, after post-production, they said, pull her. We don't like her voice. So they put Scarlett Johansson inside there. Yeah. So she had to do the whole movie off-site and then inject her voice in.
Wow.
Which is pretty interesting. And the other thing is Phoenix is that girl that he was getting a divorce from is the girl he actually, like 3 years later after the movie, ended up hooking up with her and having kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like JP. For that movie, the rapper movie, dude, is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. So he, as like a way of acting, he pretended to be... He was going to quit acting and become a rapper, but he's going to document the whole thing. Yeah. Dude, you showed me it, and I was like, awesome. Dude, this is absolutely
I've heard
amazing.
about that. I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard you guys talking about that.
Yeah, we should watch that one again because it would have been awesome, but Oh, what I was going to say on the last thing on this, another light thing about it was Spike Jonze. Dude, Spike Jonze, I always knew him as the guy that was on Jackass. He like dresses up as the old woman. Like he's buddy with, that's how I always knew him. He was on there. And I'm like, what? This guy directed a Academy Award winning film? Yeah, dude, he's like, and then he did another movie, a kid's movie, like Where the Wild Things Are or something. Like his like wide range of work is just, it's insane. So
he was the voice of that little character in the video game.
Yeah. Oh, I recognized it immediately because he's an old woman. He's like, I'm Spike Jonze. You know exactly the scene. It's like the end of the second movie, I believe.
Yeah, I know.
It's hilarious. So they're skateboarding around in their fat suits.
Yep.
But all right, we gotta tie it up here because we ranted a lot today, which is good. This is good. We went super hard on the conspiracies, but hopefully people enjoy that. We'll have a lot more fun stuff to talk about. Hopefully people thought this was fun. Definitely let us know what you guys think in the comments. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you go to your podcasting app and vice versa. Do you guys have any parting words for the fine folks of Zed University?
If you made it this far, shame on you.
Yeah. If you made it this far, shame on you. You got some thinking to do, some self-reflection. The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, if you believed everything you heard on this show today, nice job.
It's all true. We fact-checked it all.
Yeah. But all right, guys, that's it for today's show. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Zeducation University.